Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kop-Ish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Good evening, lovely people. I hope you're well and welcome back. No, it's not Monday Night Live, is it? It's Wednesday Night Live. Special midweek show. We obviously didn't do Monday Night Live because of the game that none of us wish to ever speak about again. But boy, it is what it is. We move. Got three topics to talk about today. Naby Keita situation. Is he injured? Isn't he injured? How long is the injury? What the hell is going on with his contract? And is he still going to be a Liverpool player in a week and a half's time? Going to look at the situation with Klopp and FSG and a quote from Paul Joyce, and also going to be speaking about the Tillemans link. As always, guys, when we get behind this mic, all that we ask is that you subscribe, comment, and like. Also, guys, keep respectful in the chat, whether it be to each other or to us, and we will do the same to you guys. Matt Drift, how are you guys? Silly question. How peed off are we right now? That's a better question to ask, right?
It's about to go down.
I'm fuming. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm fuming.
I've kind of gone past like annoyed, you know. I'm not even.
Matt, you know,
do you know what it
NBA,
is?
Remember NBA Jam on the Mega Drive, yeah? Do
Mm.
you remember after he made 3 dunks in a row and it was like he's heating up?
Yeah, bro. I just, do you know what it is?
Yeah, that's me right
Everyone
now,
was raging on Monday, and rightly so. And since then, it's been 2 days, yeah. Obviously, it's like I'm mad, but it's like, bro, man's just so when I say I'm so deflated, I'm talking like we're 3 games in and we're having to have uncomfortable conversations. We're not 13 games in or something like that. We're talking 3 games in, and I know it's only, some people say it's only 3 games, but we also know that when we're trying to win stuff, you have to start well in it. You can't always play catch up and think it's gonna be all right. I can't lie, bro. The amount of stuff that's come out of the club since that defeat kind of says that we don't know what we're doing right now, bro. I'm gonna be honest. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing.
I think the whole there's a famous quote: you can't win the league in the first 3 games, but you can definitely lose it. Never have I felt that more than right now. Like, I feel it. Like, yes, I know everyone can turn around and say, yes, it's mathematically possible we can still win the league. Of course it is. And we've closed bigger gaps than this when it comes to City before. Yes, we have. But under Klopp, we've never had a start like this. Literally never. I'm actually trying to think back to the last time we didn't win on the opening day of the season. I think it's Watford 17-18. 2017, sorry to cut you, Drift. 2017 was the last time we didn't win, and we drew that game. And if anyone remembers that game, we conceded a corner and a goal in the last minute or so, which should have been ruled off. So we should have won that game as well. But that's 5 years ago. We never started the season like this under Klopp. Never.
Quick question, Cal. 5 years ago, was Jordan Henderson and Milner still playing at Liverpool?
Yeah, of course they were.
Where you are from him, man?
Cal,
I'm just asking questions.
Than me, Cal. Did we start the season this badly under Hodgson?
Hodgson. I
don't ever remember no wins after 3 games, you know.
So the first game under Hodgson, we lost 3-0 to West. No, that was Brendan, actually. You know, I'll be honest with you. I think I've erased the Hodgson days from my memory. If I'm going to be, I can't actually remember.
Someone in the chat, does anybody know whether we've ever started the season where we've had 3 games and no wins?
Everyone done that. Everyone done that Men in Black thing. You know, the thing that they use with it wipe the memory. No one wants to even go back there. But the reason why I asked was like,
I've blocked that out.
The reason why I asked a silly question, is because I'm going to get a silly answer.
1-1. Sorry, 1-1 Arsenal was the first game of the season.
Arsenal. Okay, cool.
Davidenko scored. Joe Cole got sent off, and they scored in the last couple of minutes because of a Pepe Reina mistake.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I've got no problems. All right, here's the thing. So 5 years ago, obviously, I already know who we had in it. Like, but my issue is that they started the game, and let's say one was a form. That's absolutely fine, but man's got to think about
Sorry, brother
mileage.
Matt,
I
you're
don't.
glitching a little bit, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro,
I
you're
get-
glitching quite bad. Yeah, you're glitching badly, bro.
All right. Let me. Clearly, some people don't want me to speak, so let me come out and then come back in again. Let me come back out. Let me
They
start
cut
the
him
thing.
off.
Come back.
Cut him off.
They can't stop me. They can't stop me. I'll be back. Don't worry. Even
That's
if I
what
haven't
you
got you on my
said.
phone, like, none of that. Man's got 5G out here. You crazy? If I have to do it, I'll do
You
it. I'll
cut
be back
that
in 1
off
second.
too.
Lads. I can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the things moving mad. So one sec.
Yeah. Like going back off the whole Klopp stuff. So the first game of the 17-18 season, we drew 3-3 to Watford, should have won that game. 18-19 season, we won 4-0 against West Ham. So even going back before that, 16-17 season, beat Arsenal 4-3 first game of the season. 19-20, first game of the season was Norwich, won that. 2021, first game of the season was Leeds, beat them 4-3. And then last season was Norwich. This season, so this is the lowest points tally we've had under Klopp after 3 games.
Oh, yeah,
Since he's been there.
100%. Yeah,
Since he's
yeah.
been there, because
Somebody just said that we only had 1 point after 3 games this season. Brendan got sacked.
the season Brendan got sacked.
Yeah, is that right? Yeah.
No, that's not right, because we won the first game of that season against Stoke 1-0, Coutinho goal.
Oh, so maybe it was the season before Brendan had the title charge season, because he was only here for 2.5 years.
It would have been the 2012-2013 season. We lost 3-0 to West Brom first game of the season. If I'm not mistaken, we drew 2-2 with City the next game. I can't remember who we played in the third game.
Hold on. So Brendan's actual Liverpool career started worse than we currently are in the position now.
Yeah, Brendan started with a 3-0 loss at West Brom. Steve Clark was the manager as
No,
well.
I just mean in general. So I don't. So were we sitting 3 games into the season on 1 point in Brendan's first season?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it that bad at the beginning? I don't even remember it being that bad.
Yeah.
Oh shit! How he turned that one around to have a title charge the following year. Bloody hell!
The 1-1 against Sunderland was under Kenny, guys. That wasn't under Brendan. That was when Suarez missed a penalty, but then he scored a header, and then Stuart Downing hit the crossbar from a good run, and then Sunderland equalised in the second half. Brendan's first season after the tie. No, so Brent. All right, so let me think back. 2012, 2013, West Brom we lost. 13-14, we beat Stoke on the first day of the season. Daniel Sturridge scored a goal from outside the box, and Mignolet saved the last-minute penalty. 14-15, we played Southampton first game of the season, 1-2-1, Sterling and Sturridge. 15-16, which was his last season, we won 1-0 against Stoke away from home. And the reason why that game was significant, because the season before that, we lost to Stoke 6-1 on the last day of the season.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Because everybody knows how amazing your memory is, you could never say you forgot your anniversary by accident.
Oh man. Come on,
bro,
no jokes mid-drink, man. We play
Sorry, bro.
Oh, my eyes are welling up, bro. Oh, cut for real. Cut. Yeah. This start to the season has been atrocious. Like that's what we've come down to. It's been atrocious. Look, we're gonna get on to Klopp and FSG, but obviously we need to speak about them guys. Naby Keita, and obviously we'll speak about this more when Matt comes in as well. Shout out to KG in the comments as well. Big up KG. Guys, make sure you go and hit up KG's channel, follow him, subscribe to his channel. Pound for pound, the best Leeds fan we know. Stirrer and hot troll as well. We saw you, KG.
Walking around with hella chest. Remember how much he was hiding at the end of last season.
KG knows exactly what he's doing. Big up KG. Naby Keita. We don't even know how long he's out for. And Drifts, I'm gonna be real with you. Do you know what this smells of? This smells of when Ox got injured in 17-18 and we didn't know how long he'd be out for and they just kept the news to themselves. I genuinely believe Naby's got a long-term injury. The club aren't letting on for one of two reasons. One, if we are actually trying to get a midfielder and people know Naby Keita is injured for a long time, that price is getting bumped up. Or two, they won't get a midfielder, and instead of setting off the whole fan base and the Twitter world and social media, etc., they're keeping it close to their chest so that we don't find out. Or, in fact, the third is Naby's not actually injured and Naby's looking to move clubs. Either way, it stinks right now. It stinks. It smells like I've just walked into a gym and no one's showered and everyone's doing a hard workout. It stinks.
It smells worse than that, bro. It smells worse than that.
Horse manure.
Have you ever... This is going to be very descriptive, so warning.
I want to hear it then.
Have you ever walked past somebody in a supermarket and you can smell a mixture of gone off milk and dried shit?
No, I can't say I have, Drew.
Yeah, there was somebody I walked past once in the supermarket and that was exactly what it smelled like, and I nearly threw up in aisle 6. And that's what this smells like right now, bro. If you've got a good imagination, I'm sure you can figure out what that smell was like. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, bro. And what more can we say, bro?
So I'm going to ask you, Matt, you've come back in I don't even know if it's a good or bad time. It depends how you take this question. Should Liverpool actively try... Look, in fact, all right, I'm going to caveat it. Let's say Naby's not got a long-term injury and it's just a little niggle.
Yeah.
Should we be actively trying to move Naby Keita on right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, listen, I backed him as much as I could in it. I tried to show people, do you know what? Yeah, this guy, he's a good midfielder. Like, he's good. He's talented, but it's about availability. There comes a point where it's like, bro, it's not his fault, but do you know what summed it up for me? We've got 8 or 9 people out already, third game in. And there was all this talk about his contract, which I already knew, by the way. And then what I didn't know is that he was going to get injured before the game. I don't know whether that's true. I still don't know if it's true or not. Listen, when the way Klopp said it, Naby felt crazy, huh? I don't really know, innit? I'm just being honest. I genuinely don't know. Just the way Klopp said it. Man was just like, it's like Klopp could have just said something like, he woke up injured, crazy, huh? Like, you just don't know, innit? That's Klopp was in his feelings. But I'm going to be honest, though. Regardless of whether he's out for 1 game or 2 games, I'll always rate him, his ability in that, but his availability is key to us, is key to any football club. And if you can't be available, no matter how good you are, and there's been better people than him, Harry Kewell's, Daniel Sturridge's, like basically like ballers in it. Sturridge, one of the best strikers of his generation. Harry Kewell, one of the best left wingers of his generation to play in the Premier League. More talented, in my opinion, than Ryan Giggs. These men, unfortunately, had injuries, the same thing. And at some point, you have to let go, innit? You have to let them go. So, and to be fair to Klopp, I will say this. He's always kind of like defended Naby. He's kind of tried his hardest to, like, at times, not all the time, but at times been like, you know what? Naby's a top-class midfielder. He'll play him. We got the NFT midfield thing rolling. And then I thought to myself, do you know what? Yeah, NFT midfield, yeah, we might be doing something here. And then Klopp doesn't play him in the finals. You think maybe that's a kick in the teeth. But then I'm thinking, do you know what, though? Right, do you know what, big man? You've only really had one. This is your first good season. You got to build on that now. So whether Klopp didn't play you or not, you got to get your head down and show the man what you can do. And it just hasn't happened again, bro. Like, injuries again is holding man back. Like, we can't keep going down this road. Like, bro, every time we do a stream for a watch along, I sometimes don't even want to ask you what the starting lineup is, because I know you're just gonna say something like, yeah, he's out. You don't even need to say his name, like he's out. Like, we can't roll on like that, innit? We just can't, bro. as I said before, I do think that he's been unfairly criticised at times. Like criticising for the injuries, that's fine, isn't it? The injuries, you know what I mean? He deserves that. But I think there's been times when he's played very well, but maybe not like necessarily the start of the game, and will still get criticised, and other players won't. That's one thing I will say. But in terms of having to let him go, I think it's the best move, because I'll tell you something from now. He's not signing that new deal. I don't think he is personally. I think he's going to try and run down his contract, and I think he's going to try and sign with somebody else and try and link up again with his best friends. So we'll see what happens, though.
Shout out to Kev with this comment. Shout out to LFC Day Trippers. Make sure you go and head over to LFC Day Trippers and subscribe, guys. Do you guys actually think he's injured? And this is for the comment section. Anyone in the comments as well. Show of hands if you think Naby's actually injured. Do you guys think he's actually injured? Serious question.
I do. Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
I'm just going off of history, Cal. I'm just going off of history. If the man's been injured for 75% of his Liverpool career, then I'm just going off of history to make an educated guess. If he's not, then it's a madness. But you know what? I want him to be injured, and I'll tell you why. Because if he's not injured, then our club have turned into proper liars. Proper liars. Like that means that as fans now, we're getting treated like dickheads.
I'm not
up for that. I'm not up for that.
Here's the thing, and I'm asking a question, even though my answer would be what I think yours will be, guys. The club don't have a right, or should I say, we as fans don't have a right to know what's going on behind the scenes. So, are we being too entitled by demanding to know, like, what's actually going on? Should we actually have that?
There's a line, in my opinion. There's a line in it, like
player availability. No, go on, Matt.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, there's a line. So what I was gonna say is there's a line.
Sorry, Matt. So, prime example. Yeah. Say, for example, one of us can't make the show, but we don't want to say why we can't make the show. We wouldn't say why. We would just say, "Oh, Callum can't make it today," but you got me and Matt, for example. Like, and if people in the comments were pressing like, "We need to know right now why Callum's not in the show," we wouldn't turn around and be like, "Yeah, all right, we'll tell you what's going on." Like, unless obviously I said just let the people know. Do you know what I mean? So, it works kind of both ways. Are we being too entitled?
See, for me, that's why I said there's a line. So I think as fans, we kind of feel there's certain things that we should know. Like player availability is kind of one of them open things where it's like you don't need to go into detail, but availability. So it is a bit on the club as well. I don't think you have to disclose everything. Yeah. But I think what it is, you have to be careful of the information you give out, because we've seen it before. And I think Klopp's done it before. Where I think remember when I don't know if you guys remember, but he had a little bit of an issue with Sturridge at the beginning, and there was a lot of stuff that he like. They'll say, "Oh, is Daniel fit?" and he get really funny about it. And I remember at one time he snapped and he went, "Well, Daniel has to know what real pain is," kind of thing. And it was like, "Raw." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So Klopp kind of is like, I don't know, the way he said it. Me personally made me think there's a bit more to it, like because he was kind of like very he was very forward when he was speaking about Naby before, when they said, what's going on with Naby Keita, and he was so quick to debunk it. He was just like, there's nothing going on with Naby, it's just, you know, he hasn't told me, but he's very and then out of nowhere, remember, normally when there's an injury, something leaks in it. Normally something. Like, let's be real. Normally someone will leak it and it happens. Bro, I'm talking like I didn't hear no leak. No one told me nothing. I don't know whether you guys heard anything. And then Klopp just says he's unavailable, then gets pressed on it later and he goes, Naby fell. Crazy, huh? Like, bro, it was so like...
No, but bro, you know, the way he said it, I think he meant he fell out the squad. Like the way I know we can make the jokes, but we're gonna be like the serious.
I don't know, no. But just being serious,
the way he said it was Naby just fell out. Crazy, huh? I think he means fell out of the squad. Like he thought he had him available, and then last minute realized he.
Yeah, maybe. No, you could be right. Maybe.
I think that's what he meant when he said.
Yeah,
that,
no, maybe. Listen, I do think there's stuff going on behind the scenes. I see it as Naby wants to leave. Klopp's thinking. I don't even know whether Klopp really wants to keep him. Me personally, I'm unsure. I don't know whether it's a tactic. I don't know whether it's a case of extend it by maybe 2 years and then sell him. I don't really know. But all I know is that the player don't want to be there right now. Like talks have halted, reportedly anyway. So I don't know, bro. I have to be honest. I don't know.
Shout out to Live Ting. You said Klopp's actual quote was Naby Keita will not go, but if he would, he won't. There must be a replacement.
Yeah, he did say that.
Again, I'm going to take Klopp at his face value. That suggests to me he wants Naby in the squad still. But at the same time, we also know Klopp's not a man to say if you want to leave. I think those days are gone. I think Coutinho is the last player who tried that with. Anyone else who's come forward and said, "Guy, look, Klopp, I want to leave," he's just gone, all right, cool.
But that's a dangerous game to play.
Me personally, I just think he's just saying whatever he thinks will get everybody off of his back and get him out of the interview. He don't even look like a man who wants to do interviews at the moment.
Agreed. But Drift, can I ask you a question? Yeah, don't you think it's kind of mad that like Naby Keita has it less than a year? The reports are coming out he don't want to sign. Klopp, it seems like he wants to sign him. Is he really gonna? I'm wondering, is Klopp really gonna try and do that pally thing where he's like, let's see what happens, let's see how you feel? Because I'm gonna be honest.
Who with Naby, you mean?
Yeah, he's done that too many times, and people will just be like, I'm gonna bounce. Like Salah's really the only main one that hasn't bounced and signed a new deal. The others, whether it's Mane, because there was reports obviously again that Mane wanted to leave from before, but he said, "Don't let Sadio see how you feel, whatever. Give us another year." Gini Wijnaldum spoke very highly of him. Was like, you know what? I want to keep Gini Retete. I hope he stays. Emre Can. He kind of goes on the same premise. I'm not trying to say we want our manager to butt heads with the player, but I also feel like he has to be a bit more decisive at times. Like he's one of the best managers in the world. But remember when I was speaking about the whole like Klopp's loyalty is an amazing thing, but also a loyalty thing can also get you in trouble as well, because players will take advantage of your loyalty. Because let's be real, if a club right now said to Naby Keita, sit tight, yeah, run out your contract and we're going to give you X amount, Naby will sit there and take that and will probably tell the manager, yeah, I'll see what happens at the end of the season. He's already made up his mind. This is why I feel like we have to be ruthless as a club and go, are you looking to sign? If you're not looking to sign, you need to be real with man. Because if not, cool, we can make things happen. Because as things stand right now, he's leaving on a free. And so is Firmino, so is Ox, and probably Milner as well.
So what was the actual question he was asking?
So basically, is Klopp doing a front up thing too much? Is the loyalty getting in his way when it comes to him being decisive with certain, like just in general, when it comes to transfers and that, this being very decisive and not doing this whole, let's see what happens, let's play it out. Is he doing that, bro?
Do you know what's mad though, bro? I don't think Naby's one of the players he would do that with, based off of the last 3 or 4 years and how he's treated him. Like if he was doing it with maybe Mo or Hendo or Flacco or Virgil or Robbo or one of those guys, I would be like, yeah, you're right. I think he's being too friendly. He's not doing what's best for the team. And maybe he's like letting emotions get in the way and that kind of thing. But you see with Naby and Tsimikas and Ox and some of the players who like, it don't really matter what's going on. Like they don't really seem to get game time, even when like we're all thinking, wow, why didn't he play him? I don't necessarily think he's got the loyalty to those guys where he would like over compensate with friendship. I think he'd just be a bit more cutthroat about it and let the player go like he did with Shaqiri and a few others where like I think he just lets them go in the end. He's just like, look at Minamino, for example. Like, I know they didn't have a bad relationship, but he was just willing to let Taki go. It wasn't even really a good decision, to be honest.
Sorry to cut you, bro,
like,
but this is
go on then, go. Like,
sorry to cut you, but this is what I'm talking about. So what you're saying is true, but my issue is the guys like Origi, because Origi, he seemed like he had a very close relationship with Origi, but he let him go for free. He let Gini Wijnaldum go for free. He let Emre Can go for free.
I think the board let Gini go, bro. The board.
That's true. But I'm just giving you names. Like there's certain players who, like, you think to yourself, if we were never really gonna keep them, and you kind of know deep down you weren't gonna keep them, why not tell the board, you know what? I can kind of tell they don't want to be here, or they want pastures new. We need to try and get a replacement in now. Like now,
I mean, I think that's one of Cal's questions, so that's why I was saving what I wanted to say for.
No, I was gonna actually ask you a question in a sec, Drift. Matt made a really good point about Naby not starting the Champions League final. I'm going to throw this scenario at you. Let's say, for example, you're a player who hasn't necessarily lit up the league or lit up the club like you thought you would, but you've hit very good form. The midfield of you, Thiago, and Fabinho have been brilliant when you've played a lot of the times. You're playing against Real Madrid, who we know have a midfield that can control the game, but also have a midfield that you can run through and dribble against, etc. How would you have felt if you got dropped for that game, knowing that you got dropped for someone who hadn't even had a good season in the position that you're getting dropped for?
It's a tough one, because I remember when I used to feel like the captain, it doesn't matter what kind of form he's in, he plays. Because you know what it's like when you're playing at lower, like semi-professional or Sunday league level. Like captain's playing. No one, even when I was playing Sunday league level, like the captain was the manager's son. Like he's not getting dropped. So I used to kind of expect captain to play in big games just because he was captain. But if I flip it and I just think about the form, I would have been very disappointed if I didn't play. I'd have been very disappointed. I probably would have, at that moment, if I'm being honest with you, left the club personally.
So hold it there, bro. So this is why I say, is it really a shock that Naby's rejecting these contracts and potentially looking like he wants to leave? Because he's not covered himself in glory, but if the manager said, look, I trust in you, and then he starts to have a breakout and starts to put some good form together, and then gets to the biggest game of his life, and then the manager goes, nah. How can you kind of bounce back from that?
Can I caveat why I think it happened, though? Because I actually believe that Klopp got PTSD from the year we got knocked out to Real Madrid before. And I think he was thinking about that because it was the same midfield Naby was going to be going up against. And I think he's like, he played so badly last time I played this team. I hooked him at half time. I'm not risking playing him again in the same game when the game's got bigger stakes this time. I mean, I'm making an assumption, but I reckon that came into Klopp's thinking for selection.
Is that not even more reason to play him though, dude? Just and then send him out there and be like, look, I know you had a stinker the last time. I believe in you. The club believes in you. Go out there and prove him wrong now. Go and show them why you're not that guy.
In an ideal world, facts, Cal, 100%.
This is, I understand where you're coming from because he could have thought that, but then you also got to think of the flip side and think the guy's arguably been in the best form of his Liverpool career. It's like he can finally do something, and then a big game comes about, and he's like, no, I'm going back to type. As a player, you're gonna be like raw, like so. I've taken all this slack that I can't put games together, run a game together. He does that. Has one of his best performances against Man City, along the journey as well. And then you think to yourself, do you know what? That midfield makes sense. If anything, like kind of like what Cal said as well, it's like, right, like you get a chance now to show people, like when I took you off that, last year, now you can fix that, put on an amazing performance. You know how to play against these players. Like, I think as for him anyway, Carl's right. He hasn't covered himself in glory. However, though, he was given an opportunity and a platform, and he took it on board. He went with it. Henderson, if I'm not mistaken, didn't play them games there. Obviously, that Naby played because obviously it was Naby, Thiago, and Fabinho. And at one point, everyone was saying that was our best midfield. Like categorically, that was our best midfield. And then Klopp reverts back to typing out. And me personally, I feel like it's because of what you said, the captaincy. And that's why, as much as I rate Henderson, he's one of Liverpool's best ever captains, like in history. However, his form in the number 8 wasn't better than Naby's, especially going into that game. And as a player, you're going to be thinking, like, this is what it's going to be in it. Like, because as much as obviously Naby rates Henderson, he's going to be thinking, but I'm in better form. And the cohesiveness that he had at that time with Fabinho and Thiago would have made more sense. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Funny thing is, though, guys, I think with the Champions League final, it's a little bit different in terms of like the overall decision to not play Naby in that game, because I actually believe the only reason we didn't win that game was a defensive mistake. I don't really think the midfield was why we didn't win the game. Could they have played better? Of course they could have. But I genuinely just think it was because remember when we reflected on it, we had way more chances than they did. We just Courtois just turned into a superhero on that day. So really and truthfully, I don't even necessarily think playing Hendo in the final was a bad idea. Anytime you lose a game, you're looking at it and you think, oh, this could have been different or this could have been different. But if Van Dijk wasn't, backing away, if Robbo didn't lose the ball in midfield, and if Trent had been watching the back post, they don't even score that goal. Do you get what I mean? So I don't even necessarily think him not playing in that game was a bad choice, personally.
No, but John, but that's saying hindsight there, because you don't know in that game whether I'll give an example, like because he's a ball carrier, he could carry the ball and then he sets someone up. It's hard to say in those moments because his game obviously is very different. And yeah, I just look at it now and think, yeah, for him anyway, there's obviously not just that reason, but there's many reasons as to why I don't think he's gonna sign. Like and to be fair to us, like it makes sense he doesn't sign because his availability obviously is just not good enough. But from his perspective, he's thinking, Raj, you know what? Yeah, man had a good season last season, and then when it came to the big boy game, I still got dropped. It don't matter what I do. So it's kind of them ones where like he must understand it and we must understand it. And that's why I'm even surprised at the start of the window that there was no like us or Naby potentially getting more linked with a move from before, because I did think he was going to go. I didn't think he was going to stick around. And I remember saying to Cal, he's not signing a new deal, I said, Cal, he's not signing. Trust me. And Cal was like, I think he signs. I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. And it wasn't me just like, Aaron got nothing. I just thought to myself, nah, there's too much things that's happened. He's going to look at that and go, it's not for me. And like
Isn't
I said,
that a bit cheeky though?
No.
Let's keep it a buck. Like,
if the club
want to preserve his value, which is, I think, is the only reason they're giving him a new contract, so they can sell him for a higher value because we pay so much for him. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. He don't deserve a contract, and he's actually got a cheek to reject one. He's lucky he's even being offered one. But
you got to remember, he's 27 years of age, and he's thinking to himself, if he can stay fit, and maybe some of it is to do with maybe the Premier League is too much for him. Maybe he feels like, it's not for him, innit? What I was going to say, though, is that a big factor, and people might laugh at this, but Naby Keita, when he first came to Liverpool, didn't speak no English, His best friend, Sadio, helped him through everything. When I say everything, I'm talking house hunting, everything, Now that Mane's gone, I said this from before, I was like, do you know what? I know you don't follow your brethren, but I got a funny feeling as well. He's going to find it even harder without that support there. Like, I could see it already. The fact of the matter is this. I think he's a talented player. I think his availability is really poor. We should have sorted it out last season. We shouldn't have left it into theoretically his hands because he's got the power. He's okay to say, I'm not signing a new deal. And then we've got to then put up with it or try and get rid of him. But guess what? We're the ones that made the mistake, not him. We were the ones that can see the contract running down. We were the ones that can see year after year we have to do something, but we let it go. Why? And then we messed him around in a crucial moment. I can't lie to you. If you was going to mess him around, you should have at least played him in the Champions League final. Make him feel like he's still a part of it. If you're still in the back of your mind wanting to get rid of him, he might have signed an extension because he feels like played in Champions League. You know what I mean? I feel a bit more part of the squad. And if you still sell him, you sell him because it happens with players where they sign a new deal, as you say, just to protect the value, and then they're sold on anyway. But I just think we messed up, not him. He's allowed to do what he likes, but we're in control and we allowed him to now dictate what's going on. Am I right or wrong?
No, agreed. We have these super chats before we move on to the next topic, guys. Smash the like button if you haven't already, people. Over 1,000 of you in here. Very, very grateful and thankful. So please do smash that like button.
Big up, mum.
You know what? Just on that as well. Big up everyone who jumped there. I know there was a bag of haters, but it is what it is, isn't it? We busted 2.5k live while we was doing the reaction for the Man U game. So big up everyone who jumped in. I know half of you are haters, but that was a record for us on a live stream. So yeah, big up to everyone.
There's shout out to Terry on Football Terrace. I can't remember the other channel as well, but they as they do, they clipped us up when the key moments in the games happened. So, and obviously they put a link to their chat.
Oh, is it?
I didn't even see that. I didn't even know that. Still, Terry, you know.
Terry and there's another channel as well. I can't remember the name of it, but once I do find out the name, I'll make sure I give him a shout out as well.
Terry, you're bad. You're not. You're bad.
Jamrock says, Paul Joyce article on This Is Anfield detailing the profile of midfielder Klopp is looking for. Just posted today. It reads like someone spoke to him. So he wants someone who's versatile, can play in the 6 and the 8, which makes me wonder about Bellingham and the links to Bellingham, but I think that's for another show. El Silva says, you guys were my therapy on the post-match. I love you guys, man. Big up to yourself, El Silva.
Yeah, big up, bro.
Jeannie says, where do you rank our transfer policy compared to the other big 6 clubs policy, 1 through 6? I'm going to be real. We're going to have to do a full video on that. I'm not going to lie.
As it currently stands, we got the worst.
I think it needs to be looked at deeper. Just because the others are spending don't mean their policy is better, Drift. Chelsea's policy right now is in the mud. Anthony Gordon for 60 mil, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I hear that.
They're
you know
moving-
what? No, I'm never gonna shade ambition, though.
That's not ambition. That's just throwing money at it. That's not ambition.
No, because
Anthony Gordon's not ambition, Drift. Let's be real.
because apparently that's who Tuchel wants. So, like, if Tuchel wants, I don't know what the method is behind the madness, but if that's who he actually wants, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, they're just getting the manager who he asked for. Like, that's all you can do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we'd have to dedicate a whole show to that. Right now, it's raw in it, so we're going to say number 6. But when you actually look into it deeply, I don't know.
He's a press monster, and Tuchel wants more pressing in his team, so apparently that's why he wants him.
Fair dues. Church says that Ben Jacobs report about how around this time every year, laughing at other clubs' transfer and that Paddy Power advert is embarrassing as hell now. Footy waits for no man paying the price for it. Facts. King Cop says Salah Diaz hugging the sideline isn't working.
Yep, I've been saying that.
Yeah. Dodie says big up Kopish. Been a while since I supported. Listening to you guys so much at night, it puts me to sleep after 5 minutes. Wishing you good health. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative.
Yeah. I was gonna say like that's like a double like.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's been a minute for real though, Dodie. Big up, bro.
LFC R786 says no fans should blame any of the players. It's all in Klopp, Ward, and FSG. Ox and Naby should have been told to find new clubs after the final. Simple. Agreed. Goes on to say when Klopp is asked about players being out, he normally gives more detail. He legit only said Naby's out. There's strong rumors that they've fallen out as well. That's true. Troy M says if he's really injured, then Mike Tyson really broke his back after the spinal. Time will tell. Look, let's address the elephant in the room. Jurgen Klopp, FSG, and I didn't mention it, but I'll throw Julian Ward in there. What the F is going on? Like, what the hell is going on?
What part do you want to know? And I'll tell you.
Yeah, you know what? Can I go first, actually?
Yeah, of course you can, bro.
I'm going to go through all of them one by one. I'm going to start with Klopp. Klopp's unwavering loyalty, his lack of flexibility formation-wise, his interviews and what he says to the media, his lack of, in my opinion, I'm trying to think of the right words to say here. In fact, I won't say that. I won't say that on the stream, actually. His arrogance.
Do it.
No.
Type it in the private chat. Let me see.
No, put it in a WhatsApp group.
Right, cool.
His arrogance. The fact that he seems to be surrounded by yes people at the moment really winds me up. FSG, their rigidness in their approach to running this football club. The fact that they have, employed experts to do what they perceive to be the right things at the right time, but not understanding and having a grasp of what it means to run a football club themselves rather than just having experts there. I feel as though is hampering us. The money situation with FSG, not too sure what's going on. I'd love to have a bit more transparency there, but again, we'll never know. And their arrogance as well for not capitalizing when we're on top. I go back to it. At the end of the 18-19 season, I was disgusted at how arrogant they were. At the end of the transfer window, when Lovren went, arrogance was why we never signed a centre-back. That January was terrible. Almost fell out of the top 4 because of it. And then that last summer as well, Genie going on a free was disgusting. And only bringing in Konate, for me, that was all on the owners. That was all on the owners. Not to mention things like the ESL and furlough and ticket price and all that. So for anyone who thinks I'm an FSG apologist or anything, believe you me, they've never been in my, or it's been a little while since they've been in my good books. On to Julian Ward, and I'll throw Michael Edwards into this as well. Their job is not just to buy new players. Their job is to sort out contracts, from my knowledge, and also to ensure we make the right player sales at the right time. Their player sales over the last few years and the contract negotiation situation has been toilet. Absolutely foul. It's ridiculous on so many levels that they've been so negligent with all these contracts and with player sales. We're sitting there speaking about Naby and Ox now. That should have been sorted last summer. Salah's deal should have been sorted last summer. Firmino, there should have been a decision last summer. You cannot have this amount of players going into the last year of their contract in one summer. The fact that we sit here and we only do contract extensions in August, it seems like, in July, when the season's finished, for me, reeks of stupidity. Why do we do that? And the overall word I can just blanket all these guys with is arrogance. And it's so frustrating because this is our golden era as things stand right now. And football's about cycles. Let's not make any bones about it. Football's about cycles. This is our golden era. And I'm not going to sit here and moan and say, oh, we've only won one Premier League in our golden era, because you've got to look at who we're going up against. Because any other era, we dominate. But the fact of most fans, we're not sitting here saying you have to match Man City spending. I don't know any Liverpool fan who's kind of been level-headed about it and said we need to match Man City spending, because we're all realistic. We know we don't have to. This summer, no one said, yes, it must be Bellingham. We must fork out over 100 million to get Bellingham. No one said that. But you know what we did say? Matthias Nunes is there and you go for about 40 million. Go and grab him. Tielemans is there. He could go for about 25. Let's go and grab him. Paqueta's there. He's going for about 40 mil. Let's go and grab him. But to sit there and watch all the... Basuma's sitting there 25 mil. Let's go grab him. For sitting here, watching all of these things happen, and then you only react when the problem happens, which, let's be honest, everyone could see was happening. We're not sitting here going, raw. Naby's out injured. That's a shock. Ox is out injured. That's a shock. Jones is out injured. That's a shock. These aren't shocks. These aren't surprises. But yet we're sitting here acting surprised about it. Bruv, I'm going to be real with you. I'm disgusted, frustrated, annoyed, peed off. And it makes me worried about who is in charge of the club, whether it be the owner, the manager, or Ward. And again, I'll caveat it. I love Klopp to bits. I think he's the best manager in the world. But if he's not working, he's not right, he has to be questioned. Doesn't mean you dislike him anymore or whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and be blind and not address the things that Klopp's doing. Andrew Robertson, running on empty, still starts every game when you've got a Simicast there. Virgil van Dijk starts every single game, even though games sometimes could be ignored. Remember Virgil in the 2021 season drift was starting centre back next to Reece Williams in the League Cup against Lincoln. You're telling me Virgil couldn't have got a night off that night, no? Trent plays every single game and is now having to play as a right back and as a right centre midfielder. Henderson plays all the big games regardless of his form. Fabinho running to the ground because we weren't quick enough in getting someone to rotate with him. Thiago has to play in all the games because we've got no one to rotate. Bloody Salah running to the ground last season. Goes to extra time and penalties 4 times in the AFCON. Comes back, and instead of him sitting on the bench or giving him a couple of weeks break, he plays straight away. No depth there. Sadio Mane moved into centre forward, still running to the ground. Diaz played how many games last season? And then we're thinking about doing it again because we don't have adequate backup for Salah or Diaz right now. It's vile. It's vile. And I'm fed up of it. I'm not going to lie. And do you know what? Another thing, shout out to Imran. I was speaking to Imran as well about data analysis and stuff. Apparently, we don't even do... Hold on, Stevie. Apparently, we don't even go and scout games and we don't even go and scout players now. We put everything into a computer and the computer works out how we're meant to set up tactically and players to play against another team. When we scout now is we look at data on who to sign. And look, don't get me wrong, it's worked in the past. But there's data and there's actually watching someone play football. Data can be so misleading. You have to marry the two. You can't have one or the other. And I don't know. That's enough of my rant. Sorry, I took too much time there.
No. You got to get off your chest. Bro. Here's the thing, though, before I get into my point. You know why we're so heavily reliant on that data, bro? Because we're on this Moneyball thing. And this is why I keep on saying, I'm not saying that Klopp's not responsible for anything. I'd never say that. That would be a very stupid decision for me to come to. But, bro, the reason why we have to operate like this is because we're always trying to find the hidden gem. We're always trying to find the piece of coal to turn into the diamond rather than buying the diamond. The only diamond we bought was cheap. Like, it's FSG, bro. And again, I know people, I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to take responsibility away from Klopp altogether. I'm not. But again, the whole point of Moneyball is that you look at statistics, you find players like N'Golo Kante when he was in France, and you realize it before he becomes expensive and you get him for cheap. And then if possible, he plays for you for a period of time that makes you win things, or you move him on and you get big money like we did with Coutinho, like we tried to do with a few of the other little players like Solanke and whatnot. And that's the reason why, bro, I say it always comes back to FSG, even if there are some weird things that Klopp does, like play Robbo when he should play Tsimikas. And little things like that, I'm never going to say that's anything to do with FSG.
That's not little, bro. Because that has a lasting impact. It does. It has a lasting impact.
Yes and no. Because there was times last season when Robbo started to play really well, and it was like he played through his poor form, and then it was like, well, I guess maybe there was a method to the madness. But
all right, so
obviously,
the reason why I say that's not a little thing, say for example, we go to Pedro Neto. I'm going to use Pedro Neto as an example. Say for example, we go Pedro Neto, we want to sign you. Do you know what the first thing Pedro Neto says is, why do I go there? Because even if Salah's in bad form, I'm not going to get a game. He ain't going to drop Salah no matter what. If Diaz is in bad form, he ain't going to drop Diaz no matter what. So what's the point of me going there? It sends a bad message. Robert was badly out of form, sorry. Tsimikas was bang in form. Remember, Tsimikas started the season, bro, and was brilliant. Mm-hmm. And the moment he came back in, got dropped.
But all right, so just to caveat that then before I think it all depends on whether it's a player that he wanted or whether it's a player that he fully trusts. And I'm not saying he doesn't trust Tsimikas, but he didn't want Tsimikas. He wanted Lewis. And I'm not saying he was against Tsimikas, but we moved away from Lewis because of how expensive it was going to be. The players he wanted, like Kanate, like Jota, he plays them, bro. He rotates the centre-backs. He rotates the forwards. I think the players that he doesn't rotate are players he didn't truly want. I don't think he wanted Minamino, Cal. I think Minamino was given to him. And I know this might come across like I'm being a bit like ignorant to say this, but I actually truly believe they didn't really care that much about Minamino's talent, and it was about marketing in that part of the world. That's for me. People might think I'm being crazy, and if I'm wrong, then obviously I'll hold my hands up. But I think it was about marketing over in Japan and Asia. I don't think it was really about the player. It was cheap. And look, we've doubled or tripled our money back on him. I think we got 70 mil for him, and we only paid 7 mil for him. Like, so, and again, these are assumptions. I'm not saying these are facts, but I look at the players that Klopp wanted, and they play. Do you get what I'm saying? So on the rotation thing, I'm not truly sure how I feel in terms of, I agree with you, Cal. People at Simicast should be playing. Taki should have played more last year. But again, like I said, I look at it and I'm like, no, but he does rotate the guys. Like, do you remember when Mills was young? When we had Genie, when we had Hendo, when we had Flacco, and he did rotate. We never really ever knew which one of those was going to play, because I think he trusted all four of them and he would just rotate between them. So Klopp can rotate. What my problem is, though, with this whole situation, and it goes back to what you were saying, Cal, about the statistics, and as I'm saying, it's the Moneyball thing. I truly believe the reason why FSG have to hold the most smoke out of all of this is because when it comes down to it, even if Klopp, let's just say Klopp is the one doing a Mazza, yeah? And he is like playing players he shouldn't be and overplaying players and doing this and saying no when, like, you know, he's being... Let's just say it is Klopp that's doing that, which is crazy. But let's just say it is Klopp. And it's all on Klopp, yeah? Do you know it's actually still FSG's fault? Because it means they're not paying attention to their own club, and it means they're not doing what's necessary in order to make sure that we're ran properly, and they're not the one pulling Klopp to one side and going, bro, what are you doing? We don't like that. There's no way you could be the manager of something that you don't own and just get away with things if it's not good. So even if Klopp is the one doing an absolute mazza with all of the things that we're annoyed with, FSG aren't paying attention. And FSG need to come in, if that is the case, and go, Klopp, you keep saying you don't need a midfielder. The availability of these, man, is rubbish. Klopp, this isn't good for business. This really is, like, you know what I mean? I hate to always do an analogy, but it's just the easiest way for me to break it down. If you work in a trainer shop, and every time somebody comes in and asks for a certain trainer, you don't have it, at what point is it the owners who've got to go above the manager and be like, look, why do you not get this stock back in? We're losing customers. All these people, they're going to stop coming in. Like, do you know what I mean? They're not just going to let the manager continue to do poor stop, redo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard it.
They're going to come in and be like, why is there no Air Forces? Everybody's coming in and asking for Air Forces. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if the manager keeps saying on the phone, you don't need Air Forces, the owners are going to come in and be like, no, you do. You do need Air Force. What are you talking about? Do you get what I'm saying? Either you start ordering them, or I'm going to get a new manager who knows what he's doing. It's always on the owners, no matter what the situation is, no matter how bad the manager is. It does, in my opinion, still fall back on the owners. And if they had any ambition, if they were paying attention, then we would not be in a situation where Klopp is even allowed to do crazy things if it is on Klopp. I'm looking at the rest of the world of football right now, and I'm looking at every single team plug a hole, whether it be reactionary, whether it be they're overpaying, no matter what it is. And I'm not saying be an idiot in business. I'm not saying do something stupid like pay 200 million for a player that's clearly not worth it or whatever. I'm not saying that. But if you look at the situation and you look at all the other clubs around Europe and the world and what they're doing, it clearly says to me that Klopp, as intelligent and as elite of a manager as he is, would not be making mistakes that even David Moyes doesn't make, that even Graham Potter doesn't make, that even our old youth manager who's at Nottingham Forest, all these men here, yeah, who are nowhere near the level of Klopp as a manager, are doing normal things like plugging holes in their squad. And I'm looking at the scenario and I'm like, I cannot believe somebody as an elite and as intelligent as Klopp is okay with this. It has to be his hands are tied behind his back and he's saving face and he's doing what needs to be done. And the main reason I believe this is because he keeps contradicting himself in every single interview. And do you know what contradictions are? Contradictions are when you aren't telling the truth. Everybody knows if you're not telling the truth, you're going to keep giving different answers to the same question. And every time Klopp is asked the same question, he gives a different answer. And to me, the proof is in the pudding, you man.
Sorry,
It's just right there. Like it's clear as day for me.
Can I ask you a question, Drift? What contradictions have you heard him make?
Like he'll say, like, for example, the time when Matt was really annoyed because he came in and he started talking about players he didn't need to talk about. And he did. He started talking about Tyler Morton. He started to big up Ox and he started to do all of that. But then a week later, Cal, he's saying, I'm not the one in charge of transfers. So it's like, hold on a minute. Like, you can't, like, what is it? Like, you said you've got a good enough squad. Then you ask the same question and you say you're not in charge of transfers. Like, what is the right answer? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm struggling, and I could go through all the quotes. I can't remember them, but there's about 4 or 5 different quotes over the last fortnight to 3 weeks that Klopp has given when he's asked the same question about midfield, and they're all different, Cal. Every single one, even if it's a tweet, they're all different to the last one. If he was telling the truth, he would say the same thing every time. In fact, he would just go, "Can you not stop asking me the same question? Because you're just getting the same answer." But he always seems rattled. Every time someone says something about midfield, he seems rattled. And I only believe you get rattled when you're pissed off. That's the only time I think things rattle you, is when you're pissed off. And I believe that he's happy with most things at this club and he loves being Liverpool manager. But I do believe that he feels his hands are tied behind his back when it comes to transfers, and he's got to be very, very selective. Almost so to the point where maybe it is the truth. Maybe he does only want Bellingham. But it's because he knows he can't ask for nothing else. He can't ask for nothing else.
I'm just asking questions. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, one question. I'm just asking questions here. If that's the case, Drift, why would Klopp has come out many times and said that he's also, well, I won't say many times, but he's also come out and said he makes decisions regarding transfers as well. Like he
gets the last say on it. Yeah,
he gets the final say.
He gets the final say.
Why would he sign a new deal? And I want to answer. I want a serious answer to this, Drift, not a jokey one. Why would he sign a new contract where apparently, if reports to be true, he gets more of a say on transfers and targets? Why? How would that have changed in the last month or so?
I don't think it has, Cal. I don't think it has.
If he gets more of a say in all these things, then
here's what it is, Cal.
And then, sorry, the next question I have for you as well, Drift. What you said about FSG not paying enough attention, I fully agree with. But one thing I will say is, I think you're still taking away some of the blame that Klopp should be getting. Because here's the thing: if Klopp's the expert, we all believe Klopp's the best manager in world football, right?
Mm-hmm.
FSG don't know about football like that. They don't. Not on them. Like I don't even have a problem with that. Do I think they should have learned more by now? Yeah, I do. But if they're looking at Klopp and saying, "Raw, we got the best manager in the world," and if the best manager in the world says, "Unless it's Bellingham, I don't want anyone else," really and truly, Drift. Especially when we turn around and say, "Look how much he's done for the club. Look how he's changed this and that." If they went and turned around and said to him, "No, you're getting a midfielder, no matter what," what happens then? Doesn't the relationship completely break down?
No. That's big facts. And I fully agree with that. And I don't want us to do an Abramovich thing where he's just getting given players he don't want. That's facts. But here's where it is, Cal. I think he's in control. I think he definitely gets the last say. That's a fact. But still on a budget. So that's what the problem is. So you can have as much control as you want, Klopp, but you've still only got £10 to cook a meal for 6 people. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think that's what the problem is. If I send you to the shop, Cal, and I say, I don't care what you make, I don't care what it is, and I don't care how long it takes you to cook it, but you have to prepare a meal for 6 people, here's a tenner. Bro, you're in control. You can go and buy whatever you want, but you've only got a tenner, bro. So really, what are you going to be able to buy that's going to
all right, I'm glad you asked that question, because you know what I could do, Drift? I could turn around and say to you, this ain't cutting it.
But if I say that's all I can afford and we got guests coming, you just got to suck it up and go with that £10 and buy food.
No, bro. I don't, Drift. I can say to you, I can get what I can get, but I ain't going to feed 6 people with £10.
No, you will, but it will be poor quality food, a la dead players, or it will be like high quality, but not enough of it. So everybody's still hungry afterwards. So that's, you get what I mean? So it's either you get a load of poor players like we kind of have, or you get one or two quality, but then you've got no backups. Like you just, so at the moment we got a big squad, but it's not good in quality.
But again, sorry, Matt, I know you're meant to jump in by now.
No, it's cool, bro.
The problem I've got though, Drift, and again, this is why I say, as things stand right now, the blame is three ways. It's 33.3% for Klopp, 33.3% for FSG, and 33.3% for Julian Ward. Ward's job is to get players out of the door in a good time and sort out contracts at a good time. Neither of those are being done. Jurgen Klopp's job is to make sure the team on the pitch is right, and he's not doing that job. And also to get in the right players at the right time, along with Julian Ward. He's not doing that. And FSG's job is to oversee, learn more about the football so that they can muck in here and there, but they're not doing that. So here's the thing. Klopp's been admired for his stubbornness. Could have gone for someone else when the Virgil thing was happening, decided not to. But how long does that last for, especially when you become a Liverpool? Because I'm going to be real. If you strip it all down, Jude Bellingham is a fantastic talent, but he's not the finished product. We need the finished product right now in the team. So if Bellingham is the guy that Klopp wants, what else can because apparently Julian Ward is trying to get Klopp to change his mind and being like, look, let's sort this out now. But he's not. He's saying, I only want Bellingham. So, and if Bellingham isn't going to be sold by Dortmund, what can the owners do? What can Ward do? Surely that's on Klopp. Which is why I think the blame goes equal to all three, because they're all guilty in something that has an effect on each other. But the biggest people who are suffering is the club and the fans.
But the reason why I find it hard to believe that that could be the case, even if it is true, and I'm just making assumptions, is when the club was being a bit frivolous, regardless of how we got the money, you know, from Solanke and Ibe and Coutinho and all the players we sold, right? When the club was being a little bit frivolous, Klopp loved it. Klopp loved being able to go and buy Flacco, Virgil, Alisson. He loved all of that stuff. You could see the extra bounce in his step. Like, he loved it. He was enjoying being able to go and strengthen the squad and compete. There's no way that Klopp all of a sudden don't care about winning to the point where he'll just sit around and wait for one player. What? It has to be. He's been told you've only got the budget for one, and he's like, "Oh well, I'll wait then. I'll wait then because like I do. He's the one that I need. If I'm only allowed one, then I'll wait." It all goes back to funds for me. It all goes back to funds. Like I don't know. Like I just look at the situation and I look at the spending, and I don't like to watch face. I've told you, man, already. Like you shouldn't watch face. But I'm even watching Arsenal, who haven't been in the Champions League for 5 years, go nuts in the transfer window. I'm watching Tottenham back Conte. Man United have continually wasted money, but they still do it. And their owners are arguably the worst in the league, and the fans don't want them around. And they still spend money. And I'm looking at FSG, and why are we the only owners who are like, no, we've got this system. We'll stick to it. We won't go anywhere other than sticking to this, and it has to be this, and he's got to be the right player, and he's got to be perfect, and he's got to be statistically great, and we don't even send scouts around anymore. We just crunch the numbers on the computer like it's Skynet, and fucking everything's always going to work out. Do you know what I mean? Like to me, it don't make sense. None of this is making any sense, Cal. So I'm not even saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying it don't make sense.
I agree with.
It doesn't make sense, bro.
That I agree with. The thing is, we don't know if they are tightening the purse strings or not, or Klopp is saying he only wants one person.
Can I chime in on this one a bit?
I just want to know where the money
Let
is.
me chime in on this one a bit still.
FSG, I want to know where the money at.
Let's be real. Since we won the Champions League, we knew money was there, innit? So our last real, big kind of, I suppose, spending spree. And here's the thing, you don't have to go on a spending spree every summer, but the last big one was it the 18-19 season where we got Fab and Shaqiri and Naby, and there's one more. There was four in it. Alisson, yeah. Bro, since then we brought in Thiago, Nunes, Jota, Simicast, Kanate, like main players, and obviously Carvalho, main players since the 18-19 season. We're now in 2022. And what's so mad is that when you're a great side, you shouldn't have to keep making wholesale changes like all the time. But one thing we didn't do was make the changes at the right time. And it didn't have to be big changes. The centre-back issue, we'll go back to there. Klopp, this is where I kind of have to agree with Drift, because Klopp was asking for centre-back, a man was given a hologram and a man that he knew he was never going to keep. And I'm pretty sure he wanted a centre-back. And I'm pretty sure,
Matt, just not to cut you off, but it was 1.5 million spent in a January window where we were trying to retain our title. 1.5 million spent in a January where we were top of the league, trying to retain our title and had no senior defenders available for the rest of the season.
Horrendous.
So
that was all on FSG.
100%. And here's the thing. So it's mad because 1.5 mil, yeah, man said we got a hologram. And not, in fact, let's go back actually.
And we made profit on him as well.
Let's go back to Adrian, Harvey Elliott, and Sepp Vandenberg when we said we needed more. But what's so mad is the next season we won the Premier League. And that kind of got covered up because we won the Premier League. But we kept on saying we won the Premier League, but we got lucky because we didn't have big injuries that season. We didn't have big injuries. And we kept on saying, like, Raj, you know what? We have to, every season, you have to make those changes. Refreshing the squad a little bit, 2 or 3, even if it's 2, but make sure they're of use. I'm going to fast forward to this season. We've lost Sadio Mane, legend, Taki Minamino, cup time baller, and Divock Origi. Yeah? Legend. Liverpool legend. We know what time it is. We brought in a man, in my opinion, who's had one good season in the top league as our striker. And we've also brought in a youngster who has promise. We lost the title by 1 point and we lost the Champions League in the final. And Liverpool's rebuttal is to go and do that and say you got enough. Or FSG, or whether it's Klopp. I don't know who it is, but that when you actually deep it, does that sound right to you, man? So we was in a quadruple hunt, and to rebuild or to help out the squad, we bring in theoretically 2 man. The other man, we ain't even seen him. Bless him, he got injured, and apparently he was injured when we bought him.
Yeah.
Man City won the league by 1 point. They did not rest on their laurels. They sold Sterling and they sold Gabriel Jesus, 2 big signings, and Zinchenko, and let Fernandinho go. They brought in Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
They brought in Alvarez, and they brought in Haaland
and Sergio Gomez.
Yeah, and Gomez.
So they replaced every single player that left.
They said, "Yo, Liverpool,"
and held on to Gundogan, who wanted to go, and held on to Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, of course.
And brought up a couple youth man as well who are meant to be.
They said, "Yo, Liverpool are too close to us. We need to put some distance."
Sorry, new goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, new goalkeeper. They said, "No, we can't have that." Liverpool 1 point. No. They closed the gap. Like we were like 12 points ahead at 1 point. And then man closed the gap. We got to put more distance. Why are we not got that same mindset? Why are we not thinking, right, do you know how close we were? Let's go and do the business now. So then, a couple of years later, we don't have to do all of this again. Because here's the thing. At some point, you have to press that reset button. You do. And if you're not going to reset, you have to make those changes at the right time. We are always that little bit too slow. The one time I will say Liverpool done it, but I will say it's kind of a little bit conflicting, is that Gini Wijnaldum, everyone knew was going to leave. So they brought Thiago in as the replacement, but they made it seem like, you know, there's still hope for Gini to stay and we're adding Thiago. No, it was just replacing. But really and truly, we needed to add. We needed to add. Don't get me wrong. Liverpool do this thing where when a player is about to go or they can see, big signs of declining, they let that player go and we'll get a replacement. The point is that player, we needed more, not just you're replacing the player that was already on the way out. I don't like Liverpool's way sometimes of selling players of when they're on the way out and just replace them. You can't just keep doing that. It's not like 1 in, 1 out. Sometimes you might lose one, but you have to bring in 2 because you had more than one problem. That's what we're not doing. We're not being proactive. We're being reactive. And I feel like this summer, I don't know what's happened with the purse strings. I don't even know what's the point of seeing all these reports about how much prize money we win or how much money we get from various competitions and, the revenues are so great. That's all good. Don't get me wrong, because how a club is run, your commercial revenue and everything else has to be of a high standard. However, what counts is on the pitch, because if you don't have the players, good enough players to get where you need to go, all those deals that you will make will suddenly fall to feel a bit shallow, because those deals will start to leave you when you're not doing well on the pitch. We have to be so careful. We could be in a season where we might struggle to get top 4. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we could be. There's nothing definitively to say to us that we're definitively going to get top 4. We have to be so careful. And I feel like FSG, in my opinion, are taking too much of a gamble. Don't gamble with this whole top 4 thing because you feel like financially it makes sense. You should be thinking, do you know what? You go for the title. If you can't get the title, fair enough, you tried. But I think it's the lack of trying. And I also feel like as well, me personally, I almost feel like it's a transition season. And I feel like they know this and they're not really that bothered. And if that's the case, that's not good enough and they have to be held accountable for. Maybe Klopp even said it's going to be a bit of a transition season because we've lost Mane, big game player, and there's other things that we need to change. However, you can't just rest on your laurels when you're up against a juggernaut in Man City, because you're going to fall short again. And as fans, we've got one of the best managers in the world, and his ability right now is one of the best, but we're not utilizing it. We're not utilizing it. Let me read out a stat for you, yeah? And you man are going to cry. I think I saw it on Twitter. Where is it? It's about basically like Klopp, how many years in charge? It was like, what was it, 8 years is it 7 or 8 years in charge and only 1 Premier League, 1 Champions League? Bro, when you look at those stats, yeah, and I can't even find them now, and you think about the time he's had at Liverpool, I don't want to look back and go, we underachieved under Klopp. But I already feel like we kind of are. And then don't get me wrong, we're up against one of the best teams to ever, like, in this era. Don't get twisted, one of the best teams probably ever in Man City. They are a juggernaut. But I feel like we could have done a bit more. And I feel like we're going to look back and we could potentially look back and go, do you remember when we had FSG and we were one of the best managers and like we looked like we were going to do some stuff and yeah, we just didn't do enough in Klopp's era. That's sad, bro. That's sad.
You know what? It goes to what you were saying, Matt, just a minute ago, because I didn't want to cut you off in case you forgot what you was going to say. But what we basically did, right, in that season when we won the league, is we gambled. I think you actually used the word gamble. We won the Champions League. We didn't do anything in the transfer window, and we gambled. And you know what happened? The gamble paid off. Now, winning the Premier League is something I would never, ever take back, ever. Like, we won the Premier League. It was amazing. We hadn't won it for so long, etc., etc. But in hindsight, it's the worst thing that ever happened with regards to our actual recruitment and the way we do things. And I'll tell you why. Because it's the same as the guy who gambles, maybe the first or second or third time he's gambled and he wins. He's got that addiction now to gambling. The best thing that can happen sometimes when you're gambling is you lose a lot and you keep a sense of reality. If you win relatively quickly, you start believing psychologically gambling is good and the payoff is there and you'll win. And you'll keep gambling and you'll keep gambling and you'll keep gambling. And that's what we keep on doing. We keep gambling. That gamble paid off. It hasn't paid off any other time. Since we won the league, the gambling hasn't paid off. And we continue to gamble over and over and over again. Why are we doing this? Because it worked one time. When you keep on saying to yourself, why am I doing another accumulator? But you keep remembering that time when you won and you had big money from it. That's what we're doing. We keep remembering the one time we won, so we keep gambling. And that's what we're doing. And it's almost like it was a gift and a curse when we won the league with that gamble. Because now FSG and maybe even Klopp himself think, yeah, it's worth the gamble. It's worth the gamble, like, because it paid off once, it'll pay off again. No, it won't. And it's proved that gambling, in the end, the house always wins. So why do we continue to gamble?
Very true. I want to ask you both a question. And I think you're both better suited to answer this than me, because I'm quite cynical in my opinions about this particular situation. Sure, many. You were both absolutely convinced Klopp wanted him, and we put in a bid for him, etc. We also knew Mane was going. So could you not argue that FSG have backed Klopp in the sense of he wanted Tchouaméni and he wanted Núñez, and we were going to get both, but Tchouaméni chose Real Madrid. Klopp has potentially turned around and said, I want Bellingham. Bellingham's not available this summer, and he's gone, I'll wait. Is that not potentially what's happened here?
Cal, I can categorically assume, because obviously I don't know this for a fact. I can categorically assume, if that's even a saying, we weren't signing Núñez if we got Tchouaméni.
But there's no evidence to say that we weren't, no Drift. That's what I'm saying. Because
I mean,
sorry to cut you. The Mane thing wasn't a surprise. We all knew. They knew Mane wanted to go from a little while ago. Hence why Diaz was also purchased as well early, because obviously Tottenham went in for him. But is there not evidence to show? Because you guys, I've not believed that we wanted, we were going to put in a bid for Tchouaméni. I think that was media talking. You guys have kind of shut my theory down quite a few times. Could you not argue then, guys, that that is what Klopp wanted, but he didn't get Tchouaméni? So
there was not one single Núñez link till Tchouaméni went Real Madrid, Cal.
No, there were. No, come on, Drift. There were, bro. You were manifesting before that, bro.
We'd already lost Tchouaméni at that point, Cal.
Do you know what I said, though?
We'd already lost him at that point.
No,
do you know,
Drift, we didn't. The links had started. The links started around the time we played them.
I'm sticking to my guns. Do you know what I think happened? And I've said this a while now. We were in for Tchouaméni. We tried to get him. We were close to getting him. He chose Real Madrid. Mane left. There's only room for one big signing. You either go get the striker or go and get the midfielder. For me, it was that simple.
That's what I.
The money was not there to do both.
And Diaz is Mane's replacement.
What I like to think. I don't know. And if I'm wrong, cool. Because
they admitted it, right, Matt? That they pushed forward Diaz from the summer. So the summer was supposed to be Tchouaméni and Diaz. But because Tottenham got involved, we pushed it forward to make sure we got our player.
Yeah, Diaz was half.
So this summer we would have signed Diaz and Tchouaméni, Cal. And that would have been Mane's replacement and the new midfielder Klopp wanted. That's what they were going to do. But we had to push the Diaz thing forward. Tchouaméni decided to go. So they gave him the money for Núñez.
All I'm saying is that there's, and again, maybe it's kind of a bit of.
Sorry to cut you. The Núñez deal was in motion from when we played them, though, you know.
No,
I don't remember there being any links that early.
Do you know what I find kind of always highly interesting? It's always the case of when he played us, we realized, bro. Listen.
No, I know that. I know. I'm just going off what I've heard.
Have you seen the videos going around of when Liverpool, someone plays Liverpool, we always buy them. We got twisted up by Mane against Southampton. We bought him. When Taki, remember when Taki scored and Klopp done that look with Klopp went. Yeah. Then obviously,
shame we didn't do the same with Haaland, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame.
We did try. I know that for a fact.
But the thing is, a lot of people were saying though, a lot of journalists are saying, it's come up recently that Klopp was looking for a number 8 that could play the 6, and that does kind of fit Tchouaméni. It does. However,
that doesn't fit Bellingham though.
No, it doesn't fit Bellingham. But they believe that Bellingham could probably do both though. That's what Bellingham is an 8, and maybe they feel like they could play him in the 6. I'm not saying
but here's the maddest thing. Why does he want a player that can play in the 6 when we've got Hendo and Flacco?
Because he probably doesn't trust Hendo as much as we may think.
I don't know, bro.
I'm gonna be real with you. I know this is gonna sound really controversial, maybe a bit reactionary. If I was in charge of transfers and etc., Henderson by this time next year would be our 7th choice midfielder.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're going off of what Klopp does, Klopp plays him. So I don't think it's. And apparently everybody said that he's one of Klopp's favourites. So would he buy another number 6 when he's got 2 already?
No, someone who's an 8 but can play.
MK, you're spot on.
Remember, not someone who's a 6, someone who's an 8 but can play a 6.
But do you know Jude plays double pivot for Dortmund though?
No, I know that, but it's not a 6 though. Gravenberch plays double pivot at Ajax, and he wasn't a
No,
six.
but bro, okay, it might not definitively be the six. but
Bellingham
it's-
in the
it's
6
close
was
to
scared the
us.
hell out of me. Oh my
It's
god.
close. Listen. We're not saying he's good at it. We're just saying that's what he. If Liverpool needed him in a situation where it was an emergency, we're not going to cry, are we? I don't think we're going to cry if we see a lineup one day. And, I don't know. Give an example. We saw Fabinho and Bellingham in a pivot and Carvalho in a 10. We're not going to cry. We're
Yeah,
just
but
going to
we
be
would
like,
we
oh,
would cry.
man.
We would cry if we saw a starting lineup of like Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Bellingham was in the 6.
No, of course.
I'll
Of
be
course
real,
he
Matt. You see your one where you just said Bellingham and Flacco and Carvalho in a 10. I would cry. I'd cry tears of joy, bro. Do you know why? Because it was a new flipping formation we're doing.
Yeah, no, facts.
Not the
Listen,
6 and 2 8s and all that.
listen. Go
Is it not on more Pep Linders than it is Klopp for formation with regards to if he's getting the advice from his
Nah,
from
bro.
his,
Let's
from his
not do
guy?
that,
Nah, bro.
Let's not do that,
Drift,
bro.
come on now, bro. Don't be disrespectful. Man's a bookseller and all that, bro. He's unlocked everything when it comes to data, stats analysis, TED Talks. The man can do it all.
Yeah, Pep Linders is doing a lot still. He's doing a lot. He's big time now. Still, he's big time. But going full circle to what the whole question was about what's going on with FSG and Klopp. It's mad because Klopp signed the thing. So you think, okay, cool. Maybe things, are good. And you think to yourself, when we signed Nunes and Carvalho and Ramsey, we thought, okay, it's a good start for his first summer. And we thought there's going to be more. We was thinking, that's a good start. Like, man got Nunes in and whatever. And you're thinking, okay, Klopp. All right, Klopp. And when Klopp is grinning teeth, like you're thinking, the rebuild starting. And then we get told there's nothing else. You're thinking, they're bluffing. They always say that there's nothing else. They're not. Nah, fam, there's nothing else. And I'll say this. I've just spoken. I'll tell you, man, who it is after the show, but you can probably guess who it is. I've just spoken to a journalist. Big up yourself. You know who you are, brother. And I just asked him flat out. I said, we're not looking to get midfielder, are we? Please tell me you've got some news. And he was like, I don't think so. I don't agree with their stance. It's madness. I can't say who the journalist is. I don't want to get them in trouble. Respectfully, that's my guy. But yeah, he doesn't think anything's gonna happen. You guys can probably guess who. But yeah, it's mad. Big at yourself.
All right.
So yeah, man. I don't think we're doing anything. But again, things can change. But remember, to be fair, things can change. You know why? We've got a hologram and Kabak, so things can change. Remember that when we thought we was getting no one.
And can I just say on that one, the one time the owner stepped in and tried to get players, Klopp didn't play, man. Klopp didn't play. Yes. So this notion of the owner stepping and saying, all right, play this. Here's the guy you're taking. Klopp said, all right, this brother. All right, this brother ain't even going to see no pitch time.
Bro, do you know how mad it is that FSG sanctioned a centre-back who never played first-team football?
No, it's not that mad to me because that's Klopp. Klopp
but Klopp
done it.
No, but what's so mad? You know, Klopp, when Klopp goes into that kind of we know what it is. We need ruthless Klopp. You know, when you got that ruthless Klopp when he's about it, where he says things like, "So Klopp, what's going on with transfers? We got bills to pay. I don't know. We got he sent the message. I want that Klopp. I want him to kind of put pressure on the owners. Like put pressure if that's the case. If you're not getting the funding that you need or is required, you have to do something. Because we can't sit here 3 games in and a lot of us fans are thinking, what are we doing this season then? I know it's a transition thing, but this is mad, bro. Like I can't sit here after 3 games and think what's going on.
As it stands, we're not finishing in the top 4.
Let's save that for another show.
I think we can get there, but that's not good enough, though, Drew. That's the problem.
No, it's not good enough.
That's another show.
Oh, of course.
That's not good
but
enough.
I'm talking about as things stand right now.
Fair, dude. Right, we're going to move topics. Today, we've been linked with Yuri Tillemans. So, as always, like to do a little breakdown comparing him to a few midfielders. So, let me know if you guys can see the screen. Do you want me to
Break
make
it
that
down.
Super chats are saved as well, guys. Don't worry, we've got all the supers.
do you want me to? Can you guys see that, or shall I make it larger?
Maybe just a tiny little bit, but
I can see that, but yeah, it's calm.
Yeah. Is that good enough?
That's better. Yeah.
All right, so I've compared Yuri Tillemans with Jude Bellingham, who we've been heavily linked with. Milinkovic-Savic, who's a player that a lot of the chat have said in previous weeks. Naby Keita and Thiago, who are our current best eights at the club. So I'm just comparing their league form from last season. So all of them from last season. Games played, again, so flipping telling.
Bro,
Naby,
17 and 14.
where you seeing 17 and 14, bro?
Sorry, I'm looking at starts. Sorry, I'm looking at the starts, bro.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't.
yeah.
I just want to cry,
All right,
bro.
so that is so telling in terms of minutes played, games played, starts as well, and subbed off. There are two players a top for both, or bottom, whichever way you look at it. But either way, it's disgusting. Those stats are disgusting. In terms of games played, Milinkovic-Savic is top on all of those, but he also been subbed off the most times. Now we go back to touches. Tillemans has had more touches than everyone apart from Milinkovic-Savic. Ball recoveries, Tillemans is second, again, only behind Milinkovic-Savic. Possession lost is pretty high for Tillemans, Bellingham, and Milinkovic-Savic. However, you would say those three players are more of risk takers than Naby and Thiago in our system. Goals scored. 6 for Tillemans, 3 for Bellingham, 11 for Milinkovic-Savic, 3 and 1 for Naby and Thiago, respectively. Goals from outside the box, 5 for Tillemans, so most of his goals. From inside the box, Tillemans, 5 inside the box. All of Jews have come there, and 10 for Milinkovic-Savic, 2 in the box and 1 outside the box, and 1 in the box for Thiago. Conversion rate. Naby Keita has actually got the best conversion rate, with Milinkovic-Savic coming in second. And
no, not joking.
Shots
the time
on
for
target. Milinkovic-Savic is clear, 31 shots on target, but second is Tillemans. Shots off target, again, Milinkovic-Savic, but Tillemans is a close second. Assists, once again, Milinkovic-Savic leads there. Assists, second is Bellingham, and then Thiago and Tillemans with 4 apiece. Chances created, again, Milinkovic-Savic is clear. Bellingham and Tillemans are very close. Passes attempted, again, Savic, clear. Thiago, considering the amount of games he played, shows how much he dictates. And then you've got Tillemans as well in second. Passes completed, again, Milinkovic-Savic. It's starting to look like the Savic show at the moment. Unsuccessful passes, however, again, Milinkovic-Savic tops that. Tillemans and Bellingham are pretty much similar on those. Crosses attempted, again, we know how our team plays. Tillemans and Milinkovic-Savic top in there, and I'm surprised how few crosses Thiago and Naby are putting in, which can potentially open up an argument as to why Henderson crosses as much as he does, but again, for a different show. Through balls attempted now. This is where you see why I say Tillemans, Bellingham, and Savic are more risk takers. All attempted 12 through balls. Now, Haaland was playing with Bellingham, Tillemans was playing with Vardy, Daka, and Iheanacho. Ciro Immobile is at Lazio. So again, they all had strike as a focal point. Forward passes, again, Tillemans and Milinkovic-Savic top the charts. Backwards passes, Milinkovic-Savic tops it as well, sideways. Duels contested now. Bellingham's done really well here. However, again, Savic is leading. 312 for Tillemans. However, you say the most combative person in his midfield is Ndidi. However, tackles made, Tillemans actually tops. Clearances, again, is Milinkovic-Savic. Interceptions is actually Bellingham, which shows fantastic reading of the game considering he's so young. And then you've got the cards, etc. there. Looking at that, guys, if Tillemans was someone we look to bring in, would you be satisfied with that? I'm not saying you'd be over the moon, but would you be satisfied?
At this stage of the season, I'd be over the moon. But I think that's really bad that we've had to get to this point because I don't genuinely think Tielemans is good enough. But I would take him as a 2 or a 3, like as in looking forward. So what I would be worried about if we sign Tielemans is we don't get anybody else. And Tielemans is the only one we get because that's not enough. And that's what would worry me, especially knowing how our owners are. If I knew we were going to get Tielemans and then we were still going to go and get Bellingham or whoever else, 100% I'll be up for it. 100%. So it's one of them ones, do you know what I mean? Because like if I said to you, like, yeah, we'll get Bellingham now and everybody will be happy. So we're going to get Tielemans now and everyone will be happy because they think, oh, at least we've got a midfielder. Thank God for that. But then I said to you, oh yeah, but that means Bellingham is definitely off the table next year. Like we spent the money getting him. I think you would all say no to Tielemans. So it's like, do you know what I mean? Like that's what my thinking is behind the situation.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be real. If that was the case, that would be a madness. Tielemans for me, though, I know he doesn't float everyone's boat, but Tielemans for me would be a fantastic backup for Thiago. I think Tielemans is massively underrated, but if Thiago is our main player, but obviously we know his injury record, etc., and then Tielemans is the person who comes in to supplement when Thiago is not there, I think that's a fantastic backup. My problem is he should be a backup for Liverpool. He shouldn't be the go-to guy, even though he would be better than Naby and Hendo in the 8. I think we can do better than Tielemans.
Yeah, me personally, I think we'll be settling because I think as good as he is and as good as he can be, I think to myself, got Barella that we could have potentially got Frankie De Jong's just sit. I know Frankie De Jong's got his problems and his payout thing, but I'm just quite surprised that we're not even after him because he would be like for me like the Wijnaldum replacement that we've been looking for a while. There's other midfielders I feel like we could go for. However, it will be a short-term fix at least, like you guys said, because I remember even before Drift was talking about who's the name Drift brought Christian Eriksen. And even though I still don't like rate him as obviously back from his Spurs days, I understand where Drift was coming from. It's like a short-term replacement. You can kind of just rotate with Thiago if Thiago ever got injured. So I understand that. And I guess that's what Tielemans would do. It's just that the frustrating thing is we as a club are now looking for alternatives that are lesser than what we know we should be even looking at. And that's because our expectations of us as a club is so low. And that's already bad in itself. But to answer your question, yeah, it will go, it would help. Tielemans would help. But I think long term we would start seeing the cracks though, especially the way how Klopp wants to play. If we want to go back to the old school way of pressing like properly for every ball and trying to win a ball high at the pitch, he might not necessarily be the best guy to do that. But again, availability is key and he seems to be available. So yeah, he would definitely help at least.
Forgetting about the winning the ball stuff, we've been screaming out for some creativity and goal threat from some creativity and goal scoring from the midfield, right? Tielemans got 9 goals, 8 assists in a Leicester team that was really poor last season.
That's good. I can't lie. He's a goal threat. He's a goal threat. He's a goal threat. He is.
Is this not something we've been asking for? Like,
he is. Johnny is.
Around better players.
He can't be the main guy. Let me put it like this. Let's say we sign Tielemans, and then for whatever reason we don't sign him before the next summer. Tielemans can't be the guy. Like he should be like the add-on. So it should be, for example, it should be like Bellingham and Tielemans. It should have been Tchouaméni and Tielemans. It can't be just Tielemans. Yeah, Tielemans can get you goals. But you also got to remember as well, though, when you play for Leicester and play for Liverpool, it's two different things. I still think he will get goals, but I feel like, remember, the pressure weighs heavy on it for whenever a player plays for Liverpool, certain man act different. Like they've never played ball before. I can't lie to you. So it's easy for him sitting. It's easy because look at even wasn't necessarily a goal scorer, but see like Lallana. Now don't get me wrong, Lallana, I think could have got more goals, but then he kind of just, I don't know, like we done a little bit of that Arsenal stuff where the midfielders just wouldn't get goals because they turn into the engine room and they're not supposed to really do them type of things there. The only thing I can imagine is that Tielemans is a shoot on sight man, where he might just be like, I'm shooting. But other than that, your main job is to like get the ball, win it high up the pitch, and feed the strikers. Your job isn't to really go and necessarily like go and get goals, even though he's got the capabilities of doing that. It's how we play. It's like the risk taking.
Do you know what it?
Just last thing, just quickly. The last thing I say, at Leicester, he will take more risks in it. He could be more of a maverick. Whereas at Liverpool, you got to play within the system. I don't know whether Klopp will like that maverick team, because if I'm being honest, and I know people will say, "Oh, Matt, that's been a bit lazy." Naby Keita in his first season was a bit of a maverick. He would kind of go off and do his own thing, and then year after year, kind of got reeled in a little bit, as if to say, "Bro, you're good, but you kind of got to play within how I want you to play." And I just wonder whether that would happen with him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just cool. We got Derby in the cup, by the way. The draw's being made at the moment. Chelsea versus City. That's hilarious.
Oh, brilliant!
Wow.
Here's what I say, guys. You lot might think I'm absolutely crazy when I say this, yeah, but I'm just reliving in my mind 1819 and 1920, and that's what's got me in this train of thought. I actually believe what's best for Klopp's system is nothing but energy. Like, I don't actually at this point think flair matters, skill matters, none of that. I think the only thing that matters is energy. Energy. Give me some energy. And that's why players like Salcedo, for me, make more sense to get, and why Basuma made a lot of sense to get. Because you see the Tielemans of this world, they're ballers, but are they going to be able to get us back to what we used to do? Because clearly we're never going to go away from that, are we? Like, let's be honest. We've been looking at this for a long time now. And even Thiago is still being asked to do more running, more tackling, more everything than, you know what I mean? So we're not really even changing our style. We've even got a guy who should just sit at the base of the midfield and dictate play, chasing around and running around and doing all that madness. So I don't think Klopp is ever going to go away from high intensity, high energy, get in their face, press from the front, win the ball back early type of style. And I think that's why we're failing, because we've got no players left in the team that have got their legs to really do it. Even Bobby, when he played from the front, it's probably why we were so much better at the back end of last season, because Sadio went down the middle and Sadio still had the legs to be able to press from the front. Look at the FA Cup semi-final against City. That is what Bobby used to do. Literally, what Mane was doing in that game is what Bobby used to do. Win the ball as close to the goal as possible so you can counteract and win and score goals as quick as possible. That's Klopp's philosophy. And he's tried to keep the same philosophy with players that are old and can't do it anymore, or their legs have gone. So for me, I don't even think these Tielemans and all that in the world. And don't get me wrong, I think Paqueta going to West Ham for 40 million euros, I think it's criminal that we're not getting involved in that. Absolutely criminal. We're going to let West Ham get one of the future ballers for that kind of small price, and we're just going to sit back and watch, yeah? But I'm looking at the scenario, and I've got to be honest. We've got to go and start getting N'Golo Kante's younger brother. And, you know, we just got to go and start getting those type of players, because I do believe those are the only players that are going to mean we work. Hustle, rough up the other team, get in their face, chase every ball, have energy, have that relentless kind of like pressure, and then maybe the system will work again. So is it Tielemans going to do that? No,
haven't we moved on from that though?
No, Cal, we haven't, because if you look at it, we're still trying to play that way with players who can't do it.
I feel like we've moved to more of a possession base, but against teams like City, I think you have to revert to type, because if you're playing possession base against City, 9 times out of 10, the only winner is City. So you have to change up how you play against them.
You know that midfield, we used to get possession a lot, you know, Cal. Because I think in 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, maybe a bit different in each season. But do you remember how much, that's what we always used to say, we got no creativity to break down the low block. All the teams do is give us the ball, and then we know our midfield isn't creative enough. That was kind of our Achilles heel.
No, but not 17, 18, that weren't.
Well, half of that because we had Coutinho, but then he left.
No,
but
brother,
like 18...
Ox was doing a madness that season when Coutinho left.
For 6 months, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, for a small part of it. But like, do you know what I mean? And that was when it seemed to work a little bit. But other than that, it was very like annoying that we couldn't break down low blocks, and
18,
we were
19,
always
we broke.
worrying about like
18, 19, we
wow,
broke down the
we
low
need
block a lot.
creativity and rare. Like, if there's one thing that I think has been continuous throughout the entire time Klopp's been here, is we lack creativity from midfield. Like, I think that's literally been the number one cry for the entire time Klopp's been manager. And it was because we didn't have anyone who's creative, but we had workhorses. We had people who was, you know what I mean, like ball winners. That was a young Milner. That was a young Hendo. That was a young Flacco. That was a Genie. Like, them man, they used to hustle, rough you up in midfield, get in your face. That's why we called it the engine. The engine has 182,000 miles on the clock now, Cal. And even the service isn't really helping anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if we go and get energy without technique, though, Drift, we're still going to be in this situation.
No, but you've got to get. But that's what I'm saying. People like Salcedo, Kante, Basuma, they got technique, but they're energetic, ball-winning players. Do you know what I mean? Of course, yeah, you got to have Genie had techers and whatnot, but
teams don't really come out and play against us like that, though, Drift.
But they're kind of badding us up in midfield, Cal. When was the last time we won a midfield battle?
No, but that for me is down to the lack of technical ability in there and legs.
I think it is both, but I think legs first. I think we've got no energy in midfield anymore.
I'd rather go technique first.
I really don't think we've got any energy.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I think I'd rather go technique. I think I'd rather go technique. No, I think I'd rather go technique first, Stevie. I think I'd rather go technique first because it gives you a better chance of winning games.
No, I agree with you. I would, because I prefer good, attractive football. But I just don't think that the way Klopp wants us to play is suited to us having technically gifted players. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm hoping Nunes can bring that pressing from the front again. Diaz definitely looks like he's bringing that. I just think in midfield, it's... Do you know what? Here's the thing that worries me, bro. I think if you look at our entire team, I think their energy's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And you know something else, yeah, that I think we're underestimating? How many times can you be a bridesmaid? How many times can you be a bridesmaid? I think they're deflated, Cal. I think the players have given up, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I'm looking at some of the performances.
If you saw all your brethren getting married, bruv, how do you feel? All your brethren getting married and then you're just there, bruv.
What,
doing up stag parties. That's all you do, doing up stag parties.
I just do a Vince Vaughn wedding crashers thing, but look, all I'm saying is, I think the team is lacking energy, and I also think they're just sick of being bridesmaids. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, I think the entire energy, motivation, and will to win is gone from our team. Because let's keep it a buck as well. As a human being, how many times can you be runner-up before you can't be bothered anymore? If you go through the core of our team, do you know how many of those guys who are winners by trade have to keep dealing with loser medals? Like, just actually think about it, because as fans, it's bothering.
Yeah. There's only so many times, man, I keep getting up. Yeah, I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? How many times can they be runners up? How many times can they get the loser medal? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just a big part of me that just feels like I've looked at the first 3 games of this season very, very deeply because of how bad it's been. And I don't think the motivation is there anymore, man. I think there's confusion with the tactics. I think the legs are gone in pretty much everybody in the team. And I don't mean they'll never come back. I just think the energy is just clearly gone. There's no energy left in the team. And I think the mentality is, fucking hell, what's the point in all this, man? Like, I just do. Like, how can we be that unmotivated for a Man United match after watching Man City drop points and Man United is a derby match? You can't even explain that to me. You can't. There's no explanation that's going to make any sense. Man City dropped points on Sunday. We're playing on Monday. It's a derby game against the enemy, and we play like that with that little enthusiasm and that little energy and that little effort. We got outran by a team who's been outran by every single team they've played for about 6 months. and we let them outrun us. Like, what is going on? I think their heads are gone. I think Klopp's sick of being a loser. I think the players are sick of being runners up. I think everybody at the club is just tired of being a bridesmaid. And I don't even know how you fix that, if I'm being completely honest with you. But I don't even see good things on the horizon. See that Bournemouth game? They're going to run more than us, press more than us. Do we win that game? Do we beat Bournemouth?
It's not a given. I'll say that much. And it should be, but it's not. Listen, it's 3 games in. We're pressing panic buttons, rightly so, because we've never seen a drop-off like this for a minute. Like, we just haven't. We're not used to this type of behavior from the players down to the recruitment, down to the manager's tactics. I think it's a factor because it's everything going hand in hand, but for the wrong reasons as to why we're in this situation. It's not like it's one thing, because one thing you can negate, but when it's all 3 things, you're just like, like everything's just wrong here. So, listen, we got to galvanize somehow. I don't know how we're going to do it. I mean, we can start by beating Bournemouth. That would be a start and see what happens. But it's going to take more than what it is. Even if we beat Bournemouth, even if we thump them up, that's what we were supposed to do anyway. My worry is that, like you said, Drift, like something seems missing. Like when Man United have had more sprints than us and doing up more, running more, you're thinking to yourself, like they really wanted to win that game. We just showed up and were like,
Do you know
cool.
what? Do you know what we turned up and said to the Man United players?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Boy.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Fucking embarrassing, man.
Boy. So I guess go around before we wrap things up. Tillemans, you taking him, Drift?
Yeah, I'll take him.
Matt, you taking him?
Bro, right now I'll take Todd Cantwell. Todd Cantwell doing up carnival, fam. You know, like that. Listen, we just need a centre mid, bro.
Do you know what's mad? Do you know who would actually do really well in Liverpool's midfield?
Jay Spearing. I forgot we already re-signed him. Yeah, go on.
Conor Gallagher.
I'm not convinced he would.
No, do you know what? He would do better than some of the players that we already have.
He is one of the most energetic midfielders in the league.
He fell off towards the back end of the season hard, though. You know?
I know, but but to be fair, he was literally their system.
Yeah.
You know, one of them ones that's like, if Gallagher ain't playing, I don't know if you noticed, the way Palace played when he went there was different.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It was totally different.
He'd kind of become our system as well, considering our situation as well.
Yeah, but at least they'd have slightly better players to like help.
Are they going to be available?
Level.
Are they going to be available?
Well, yeah, that's another story.
All right.
But no, yeah. Listen, everyone here would take Tielemans. That we would, innit? Like, we just would, bro.
The ideal situation is Tillemans this summer and then someone else next summer.
Yeah,
right?
of course. At least it's someone to add, and not only that, availability. How can we have 9 players? I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them are freak injuries like Ibu and Jota and whatnot. But we've got like 9 players out, and we've got Thiago out, Curtis Jones out, Naby out, all from the midfield. Is there one more, or is that it? Is it just 3? Or is it
Naby
3?
Curtis.
Naby
Ox.
Curtis. Oh no, I forgot Ox and Thiago.
Thiago.
That's 4.
Yeah, 4.
Klopp spoke about we got 8 midfielders. Yeah, I think it's now 7 because Morton's gone out on loan. And 4 of them. All right, let's just put this into perspective. Let's just sum up this whole show, people. We went to Trafford and started Henderson, Milner, and Harvey Elliott. If I told you, man, that 2 seasons ago or last season, you man actually probably would have just been like, "What's my on? Why would you start that midfield?" That's the midfield we had to start with. Henderson, Milner, and Elliott. We were asked to go and do stuff with that midfield.
Boy, let's get through these supers. Troy M says, "Is it really?" Oh no, we've done that one. Firmino's Teeth says, "That's funny. I will always put you on when I'm going to sleep." Then Matt does that funky laugh and wakes me up. Robbie D says, "FSG buy for 300 mil. 12 years later, worth 3.6 bill. Crazy not investing to protect the asset, risking loss of Champions League money, commercial deals, and brand profile. Balancing the books each year is a sideshow. Very true. Dinesh says, evening, gentlemen. Can you share the video I sent you on Twitter? It was from Grizz Khan. The video reminds me of how Naby got injured. Have you guys seen the video?
Yeah, I've seen it. Is it? Hold on. Oh, that I have sent. Oh, the one that Grizz posted recently. Is that?
I think so.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, no, I do. Where he talks about Liverpool's season. Is it that one, Cal?
No idea. Beretta says budget can blame FSG. New contract for OAP on Klopp.
Big up Grizz as well. So.
Shimron says our engine right now without Fab and Thiago is as if we're using kerosene oil for fuel. FSG and Klopp need to fix up. If we can see it, I'm sure they can. You'd hope so. Bastion of Invincibility, thank you for your super chat. Dan M says, what do you think of 5-2-3 with Phillips? I know. Like, the answer is going to be Drift's going to say no. I'm going to say I like the formation in certain games. What are you saying, Matt?
5 at the back.
Cal, can I caveat?
Yeah.
The way Trent is playing, I would actually rather he was a wing back than a right back. So I'm not even opposed to the formation anymore based on the personnel.
Thank you, Drifty.
Boy, I'd maybe slightly modify it.
Like Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness right now, bro. Just walking through the street.
Because Drift never goes for the. But I would slightly adapt it to 3-4.
3-4-3.
Yeah.
Ash says can't actually be shots by the way FSG operates. There's literally a Hollywood film based on our owner's strategies. Never's changing. FSG won the manager lottery when Klopp agreed to come to us. Shout out to Bastion of Invincibility again.
Big up, bro.
Bastion of Invincibility says, I hear that FSG plan to follow the Arsenal model. Arsenal model where we qualify for Champions League every season and win the cup every 5 years. When they bought the club, they lucked out with Klopp and all the success he brought.
Facts.
So I'll take a cards. Calm.
One sec.
Cool, bro. Ash says Klopp is like the Michelin star chef who's cooking out of a burger van. This is on FSG. Average net spend 20 million years since they're rather disgraceful.
But no, Ash has put the nail on the head, bro. That is Gordon Ramsay trying to actually sell food off a market stall. That's what it is, bro. How are you supposed to do your job properly, bro?
Do you know what it is, Drift? We're moving like IKEA. You know, IKEA sell food like the hot bit. They sell hot dog and chips.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. IKEA's hot dog and chips bangs, bro. I'm not gonna.
No, but they're trying to put themselves in a competition with other places, bro. You know, you have to be like, okay,
bro. But that bangs so much, that my missus' nephew wanted that more than McDonald's, bro. He actually requested it, bro. He was like, I want IKEA.
I'll take it back then. I'll take it back.
Shout out to them IKEA butter biscuits as well, bro.
No, the biscuits are
and the ginger snaps. Woo.
Oh yeah, of course. Will 51N says, I agree with Drift. He mentioned in the Man United conference. 975 Dramot says Klopp integral in getting all those players as well. Will again, he says he said that the money is not in his control. He said that if they gave him the money, he would spend it. What manager will say, I don't want to spend?
I agree with that.
Little Man says, curious what Saul said Ward wanted players and Klopp said no.
And you know what? Just on that quickly, Matt. I actually think that Edwards has to hold smoke, or we have to realize something of why he wanted to leave. Because it's very weird how the last 2 years in the transfer window have been very sketchy, and then he ducked out. Now, I'm not saying he didn't want to change or wanted a break or whatever, but like he didn't move anywhere near to his own level.
He didn't put his heart and soul into it.
He didn't, bruv. It's almost like he's caring.
Do you know when Edwards put his heart and soul into it? He got us 20. He got 20 mil for Solanke. That's when he put his heart and soul into it.
At the beginning of the Klopp era, he was fully invested, bruv. And I think his hands were tied so much.
We got 24 mil for Brewster.
The budget we were on was so hard to maintain. I think Edwards couldn't be asked anymore.
I think he was like, you know, when it's one of them ones, it's like at the beginning, it's like, this is a challenge, yeah. Then after a while, he was just like, my back is broken, fam. Like there's no, I can't do no more in it.
Yeah. He was losing sleep and that over it, bro.
Man's all thinking about for real. Like man's all thinking, what dossier can he put forward? Like what else can we sell at the club? And there was nothing at the time.
Because you got to remember, it makes your job it makes you look like you're bad at your job if the people above you don't give the tools to do your job. Like you've been a manager. How was you supposed to make a good amount of sales when you had one member of staff on a Saturday? Like what was you supposed to do, bro? How are you supposed to do well on a day when you've only got one member of staff on a Saturday and you got 20 man just walking that shop because no one's serving them? Like what are you supposed to do, bro?
Do you know what? You just made me reminded me of something. I remember when I was working at one shop. I know whether of a lie that actually happened. I had one member of staff.
That's why I said it, because I remember you ringing me cussing afterwards, talking about you don't care anymore. I remember, bro. I remember, bro.
Listen, that area manager knows who you are. Hey, listen, that area manager.
I remember that vividly. It might have been a long time ago, but I remember when you're like, bro, I'm done with this. You know,
I'm done with this, fam. How can you tell me one member of staff? A man's got to meet these targets. Are you crazy? Are you mad? Hey, area manager, you know who you are, innit? Giving them unrealistic targets there. Lucky I don't fry you. Littleman says, people, don't forget Diaz energized the squad so much. And I am 100% sure that if Diaz didn't come in January, Klopp wouldn't have signed FSG the issue. Boy, it's true. Ty says Klopp is mirroring what happened at Dortmund. I think it's a little bit too early. I know people are trying to do that whole 7-year thing, but we're 3 games in. I think if we're like 10, 15 games and we're just not doing anything, that's when I think. But because it's 3 games, I wouldn't say just yet, not just yet, because we've got a stupid amount of injuries. That's another thing that Klopp can't do nothing about it. Although you could say he could have been proactive and got rid of some of the players that he knew that's unreliable. So kind of goes both ways, I suppose. Tahir says, just like Arteta, give Klopp the money and buying players, then we'll see what he does. This transfer policy we have is a pile of crap. Team is dying. I hear you, bro. He does. Klopp, I think, needs a more financial backing, if you ask me. Gangster Gamer said, let's be real, Cal. We won't get Nunes if we got Tchouameni. And you've already said before that this Nunes deal was likely a reactionary buy.
I definitely don't think we would have gone for Nunes if we bought Tchouameni.
I agree with that as well. Big up yourself, Ash. He says Klopp's legacy is locked in. First, where was we when Klopp took over? 2, he's won everything in the last 4 years, and a 2-3 year build on a net spend of 20 million a summer. 3, delivered the Holy Grail after 30 years. You never walk alone. Facts. Yeah, his legacy's there, bro. We're not. His legacy is not being tarnished. It's not about that. It's more about someone else's legacy. I don't want to have to keep bringing them up, but yeah. Tahir says, if we buy someone, it's a panic buy, embarrass him. I agree with that as well, because it's like you've waited all summer, and not only that, teams now know as well we're after a centre mid. They will ramp up those prices. They will, and teams have also caught on as well to how much we will try and bump them. And I'll be honest with you, the Nunes deal, in my opinion, if this was 2 years prior, we get Nunes for about 40. I think we knock off maybe 20. But again, maybe that's just the market, though, because I can't lie to you. When I'm seeing Gordon from Everton being linked for Chelsea for 60, it's people like that spoil the market for everyone. I can't even lie. I just got to put it.
Do you know the only reason I disagree?
That's spoiling the market, in my opinion.
No, but because Everton don't want to sell on any, by any means, it's just like Football Manager, bro. You know when you used to have to spend dumb money to get a player, you just basically you're not going to
sell him. I hear you.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I kind of understand that.
Bro,
that 60 mil is not because anybody thinks he's worth it. That 60 mil is to make Everton feel okay with the fact that
okay, let me give another one.
They don't want to lose at all. Not even in the slightest.
I'll give you one more. Nottingham Forest bought that guy from Wolves for £44 million. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that is a mad one.
That is spoiling the market.
But it might be a very similar situation.
But even still, bro, the team. I get what you're saying. Like, if teams are going to want to say a stupid fee and teams meet it, fair enough. But both teams they're ruining the market by doing that. They don't understand what they're doing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Who's the next one? Let me see. LFC 786 says, "Cool, Cal Joyce has said bare times Klopp wants a 6-8 Tchouameni alternative. Jude ain't that, so Jude ain't the only player he wants, bro." I slightly disagree. LFC, from what I understand, it was an 8 then a 6. But either or, Jude might not necessarily be that player that first comes to mind, but the thing is, Jude has played in the pivot at Dortmund. He's playing there right now. It's just that we don't see him like that. But maybe Liverpool can see something, because let's be real, people. When Gini Wijnaldum was at Newcastle, he was playing 10, and then at one point in his Liverpool career, he was playing holding man. Things can happen like that. You know what I mean? So
That's the thing that I don't like that Klopp does, is play players in positions they're not
just
supposed to
convert,
play,
man. Doing like what
I
Benitez
can't
done with
stand.
Dirk Kuyt.
Yeah, I
Striker.
can't stand that he does that. Yeah, that
Kuyt
gets
didn't
on my
even go
nerves.
from centre forward to second striker. Man went from centre forward to second striker to right midfielder.
Yeah, that's mad.
Sultan says, if we don't win on Saturday, I'm out. Boy, I think the whole fan base might just be out. No, we won't be out, but we'll just be. You just won't find us in it. So yeah, we're out. Pimp of Distress, big up yourself, brother. He says, thank goodness I got your birthday gift at the last home game, as I think Naby is gone this window. A little something to reminisce with. Big up yourself, Pimp. I haven't. We'll talk after, Pimp. We'll talk after. Bless up each and every time, my brother. Sabit says, add Luka Sucic to that comparison. We are most linked with him. Yeah, I hope we're linked with Sucic from Salzburg. I know Grizz was speaking about that earlier on today, I think, or we tweeted that. Big up Grizz as well. But we were linked with him before, and I remember there was a report when we were linked to midfielders earlier in the summer. His name did pop up, so let's see what happens there. I don't think we're going to do anything, but, you know. Let's see. Troy M, he says, worst job each of you ever had. Don't say if it's your current job. Don't want man losing their jobs. Laugh out loud, especially Cal, who already has Stevie working harder than a sign language translator at a Bone Frogs concert. No.
Oh
said,
man!
bum, bum, bum,
Why did I just say?
bum,
I want to
bum.
tell everybody.
Oh
Hey,
my gosh.
that is.
But,
Hey, Troy, I'm not
worst-
gonna lie. That's hilarious.
Worst job I've ever
Um,
had. Worst job I've ever
That's
had.
easy. I just
What
left
was
school.
mine?
I just left school and I got a job in a supermarket
What's the worst
factory.
job I've ever had? Okay,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, and I was the guy who used to pack up the goods, and I can categorically tell you that I don't know if it's still the same, but the beans, the sausages that used to come down used to just go one label and it will go that way, and then you get the Heinz or whatever and it will go that way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Mine was a supermarket. I won't say the name. I won't say the name of the supermarket.
Factory life. I rate anyone who does
But
factory
yeah,
life,
it was
man.
a
That is a
supermarket
hard
for me.
graft.
Oh, fam, it's different, bro.
That
But
is a
respect for everyone
hard
that does the respect for everyone that works there. But it just wasn't for me, like the supermarket thing. But yeah,
I still
that
remember
probably-
my brethren
probably my worst.
my
Trying
brethren
to think
slipped
them all.
over and his wellies came off, and I'll never forget that.
Man said the wellies came off, That's it's dies. It's done. It's done out here. He was done, bro. Bigger Ash. He says, get Frankie for 70 mil. Barca used that 70 mil to get Bernardo. Makes us stronger and City weaker. Double win, 4D chess move. Facts, bro. I would 100% do that move. But we're not about that life. And I think the whole fan base would, if I'm not mistaken. BC says Barcelona beating City 3-2. What? Barca playing City?
I think it's 3-3 at the moment, though.
Is it? It's
that friendly that they've gone over to have with Barcelona.
I don't understand the friendly during the season. Pep is a madman, But again, he's got the players to do that. So
Yeah. It's 3-3.
BC says if the likes of Elliot, Carvalho, Jones, Nunes, Diaz are the evolution to the future, which might be good by that time, still, how amazing could City be?
Exactly. City are just going to continue to be great while we're trying to get back to where we are. And then, do you know what I mean?
We can take a season off, it looks like, and still not be as good as City. That's frightening. Because I think even Klopp said something about transition. Well, if we're in a transition year and we come back next year and do the same thing.
Hey, do you want to know? So, Vern
Yeah.
Wright, just said, I think he said he used to work for TK Maxx and he never wants to see another clothing tag again. I'm not going to lie. TK Maxx, at the end of the day, must have been the hardest cleanup in the history of retail.
No,
bro.
I go on more. I never worked there, but I reckon Primark, you know.
Yeah, that might.
Especially,
do you remember next in the January sale?
but I worked in Next. I can't say too much, but I worked in Next.
Bro, did you do a January sale?
Oh yeah, bro.
That must have been
Bruv,
madness, bro.
The next sale was an absolute man. I remember one time I went out. I went ministry. So I went ministry. Yeah, finished ministry of sound. Then had a shower. Then went straight to work, bro. When I say to you, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Absolute, yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. Them old
what
school
it is
times
to
there.
be a teenager again, bro.
Bruv, listen, them days there. Like who told me to
Oh,
stay out all
man.
night till like 5 in the morning? Shout out all the people know about ministry of sound from back in the day. Go home and have a shower, and then go straight to work. I think you can do the next
No,
sale.
because ministry finished at 5. That's why.
Yeah, but bruv. Listen, crazy. Listen, people, listen. I've done some. Listen, Math says KDB and Silver have both our what? KDB and Silver have both. Our player have one of each.
Oh, he's talking about grinding technical
Yeah,
ability.
with the athleticism thing. Little Man says, wild take, the right player we need is a leader at the front of the pitch. We don't win Champions League without Genie. Maybe why Bellingham is the one. I hear that. I know what you mean. Like when I look back at some of the stuff Genie's done, I mean, I never underrated him, neither the Drift, neither the Cow, but I think some people did. And when he left, I think some people were like, see, I'm kind of glad we have, and because obviously we got Thiago at the time, we kind of like some people were saying we didn't really miss him, but bro, some of Genie's games for us, people sleep on, you know. Math said quad was in our hands. Spurs / Madrid. We pooed the bed.
Yeah, we did. Especially the Spurs one. Maybe not so much the Real Madrid one, but we should have beat Spurs. We should have
agreed.
Beat Spurs. 100%.
Jeans 2311 says, bros, awesome discussion as usual. One question: what do you think changed? By the way, the Community Shield versus the first match. The Community Shield versus the first match against Fulham. I know Community Shield is glorified friendly.
It was the curse I told you a lot about, which is why I didn't want to win it.
What, the Community Shield thing?
The Community Shield curse. I told you a lot about that Community Shield curse. What was the point in winning that dead ass piece of stuff?
No, it's not. No, it's not that. It's not even about because
I
you
would
just
have
want to be
traded that win in for these.
Oh, of course, everyone, brother. Of course. Listen, I traded Community Shield just for one win.
Yeah,
not even 3 wins for one win.
Yeah, bro.
I would have traded the Community Shield to beat Man United. Facts.
I would have traded the Community Shield to beat Fulham.
Facts.
So,
yeah, man, 100%. Mav says in the last 6 official games, we lost the league by a point. Lost Champions League final. Lost out in shooting many. Mane left. Lost our biggest rivals. This is crap. When you say it like that, fam, it's hard to take, but I can't even lie.
See what I'm saying? All we're doing is losing.
Little Man says plan was to get Bellingham in January. Now Dortmund are still in the run for the Champions League and Bundesliga. By January, they'll be out of both. Price will be down.
Yeah, but if he has a good World Cup, bro.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. Big up Alex Torres. He's become a member. Hey, listen.
I'm not gonna lie, the members section is popping off with the new series.
Hey, members. I'm not gonna say. Listen, for the people that don't know what we're doing, listen, we're doing a little football manager thing over there. I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but you need to go over and become a member. I'm not just saying it. Trust me, check it out. You will not be disappointed. We love doing it, and I hope the members are from the feedback we've got, they are loving it. There's going to be more members content, and yeah, man, listen, the member stuff is popping. So big at yourself, Alex Torres. Beijing Barnes says, fellas, I said it, we are resting on our laurels, playing with fire. Defibrillator on standby. Let's hope for the best and top 4. You never walk alone. Matt, I agree with you. Naby has to go. His availability is not acceptable regardless of skill. Yeah, Beijing, he's got to.
Man, like Beijing.
Big up Beijing. All right. Each and every time, brother. Messi FC says Edwards tried to sell John's yacht. He might have, bruv, because it don't make sense what he's doing and what he used to do. Ty says same thing happened at Dortmund, ran down injured. What you man are saying it's the mileage thing. But just Klopp just gets a car and for 7 years straight, man just goes all over.
You know, them was just like, Dad, why have you never changed the car? Because I don't want to.
Man's got the engine light on, and man's like, don't worry about that. 975 Jamrock says, what are the root causes for all these injuries? mileage, in my
You
opinion.
do you know Klopp sacked our head of medical staff this month, apparently.
This month?
Apparently, yeah. The beginning of the month, yeah.
Bro, there's only so much the medical staff can do. Like, they can only patch up so much if you got man doing triple sessions. Like, I can't even lie, bro. Certain things I'm like, okay, maybe the medical staff need changing, but can't have man running like that for that long and not expect there to be some type of drop off. Sam Max Legends, big at yourself, brother. He says, my missus been a lifelong City diehard, is loving this stream. Even says the LSE owners are suspect. No love for the club. Go see what City owners are doing globally to push the club brand. It's relentless. Hey, Sam Max, big at yourself.
Yeah, big
and
up,
to your
man.
missus as well.
She must be loving it. If she's a City fan, what better team to support right now? So
for real, Man City are doing bits. Can't even deny that. Messi FC said Naby should write a book about his injuries. Hashtag Klopp.
It would be as long as the Lord of the Rings to write it.
Sean P. Casey said, I'm tired. Bruv, I'm tired as well. You know, Amanda said it. I'm tired. Just want to win. Big up, boy. Hey, Sean.
I'm exhausted, Sean.
Trust me. Neil, big up yourself, bro. He says Bellingham not gonna cost less next season, so why wait? He might do, but you're right though, because I still feel like if he has a good World Cup, it'll be the same thing. Dortmund will probably say 120 million, 140 million euros. So what do we do then? Liverpool didn't imagine that Dortmund would set such a high fee. So they're gonna wait until next season and hope that Jude Bellingham runs down his contract further. That'll be the headline. Aswin says, I want Liverpool Madrid rematch in the Bernabeu. Bruv, so does everyone. Trust me, I want to beat them guys.
Oh, I'm not even gonna lie. We've got to stop all of that. We can't even beat Fulham. We do not want Real Madrid.
But I think he means obviously when things are hopefully back to normal, not like just on a random now. Asim, big at yourself for the super chat, brother, and just big at everyone for the super chats as well. Like, trust me, it goes a long way, obviously, to helping the channel. So that's love to you all. Listen,
big up, man.
I think
I'm just gonna give them a snippet of the members video just to.
You don't? Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna whet the appetite.
Yeah, go on, Pete. Yeah, before we head out.
Is it up? Yeah.
Yeah. Philip, he hasn't even played.
Come on, Casemiro, what you doing, bro? Lovely integrate. There you go, Kylian. Do something.
Casemiro is on this on just
lovely finish.
He's offside though.
No, that's a good goal.
Ooh, don't do me like that.
Was that offside? The referee blows the whistle.
Don't do me like that.
I did think it was off.
Don't do me like that. Come on.
Goal checking.
Don't do me like that.
Let's have a look.
Don't do me like that.
Is
he on?
I don't know, you know. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure.
I think he's off.
Is he on? What's the decision?
Why's it taking so long?
Checking it.
He's off. Fuck's sake.
Told you.
Good finish. Good finish from Philip.
Very good finish, but he's off.
No, but do you know what, Drift?
I was on. I was on. Well done.
What?
No, the computer. No. The computer just said it was. I swear the computer. Listen.
Little snippet there from the series we got running at the moment.
There's more I want to give the people there, but
big up to all the members, man.
You never know people.
You're really enjoying it, so
yeah, no, indeed. But you never know people. You might see more snippets before the week is out. You never know. But I'm telling you, if you're not a member, I'm not just saying it. It's jokes. We're having fun. The members are having fun. Like it's just banner, isn't it? It's so much.
And you know what? Big up to all the members as well, because the membership is the only consistent way to have the income that keeps the channel running. So really, really appreciate every single one of the members who've been members for a long time. Some people have been members. Man, like John, for example, member for months and months. So big up to every single one of the members, man. I'm really glad that you lot are loving the little series we got. And Demo, allow me, man. Allow me, bro.
Hey, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give nothing away, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But listen, it's jokes. But I think I saw one more super actually. Alex Torres says 2 weeks at the beach. He's not good enough. FSG is cheap. Boy. Jamrot, did we miss your super chat? I think we read it, bro. Jammer, just quickly type in again your super chat, bro, just in case it got missed. But I don't think it did, Jammer. Just quickly write it now. Just do a normal one, bro.
I don't think I saw one come through.
Yeah. Rain says, I appreciate you guys. No, we appreciate all of you guys. Listen, remember, people, we're at our lowest right now, and we shouldn't be after 3 games. We're gonna be, as a fan base and as a community, we're gonna argue sometimes in it and disagree, but it's always love each and every time. Do you know what I mean? I just hope everyone just shares that same thing, because we kind of need to like all pull together on this one, man, because we can't let this continue. We have to somehow galvanize the team, and the first thing we can do is send them man the positive vibes for Saturday, bro, because we need the dub. We need the dub so bad, bro. It's unreal. We ain't got time for it.
Man. Do you know what, bro? We might as well just touch on this while we're here, bro. The draw is finished. Let me just.
Oh, here we got.
The draw has been done. So as it stands, is that showing up on the screen? Bro?
Yeah.
Leicester versus Newport, Wolves versus Leeds, Forest versus Tottenham. Oh, that's a tasty one. West Ham versus Blackburn, Man United versus Villa. Ah, flipping out. Stevie's gonna get slapped again. Bournemouth versus Everton. We've got Derby at home. Burnley versus Crawley. Bristol City versus Lincoln City. Man City versus Chelsea. That is a tasty one still, I'm not gonna lie. Stevenage versus Charlton. MK Dons versus Morecambe. Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Southampton versus Sheffield Wednesday. Arsenal versus Brighton. Ooh, depending on what team Brighton put out, that's a tasty one. Yeah. And Brentford versus Gillingham. So there's the draw, people. We are at home to Derby County. Derby County are in the mud financially at the moment. I'm not sure how well they're doing on the pitch, but I know it's not looking too good for them at the moment. So, yeah, but could have been a worse draw. Do you know what I mean? Could have been a worse draw.
Yeah, no, it could have been.
Probably one of the only things that we can win this season. So,
depressing times.
In fact, we got one more.
Yeah. We need a big at yourself, brother. He says we need a future centre. We need a future centre back, 2 mids, and 1 more attacker. Yeah, we do. We do need a future centre back. I don't think it's alarming, so I think we can hold up just for a bit. The 2 centre mids are very, very crucial, and I think the attacker is very crucial as well. Beijing, big itself, bro. Says, Matt, question for you. Top 5 goals last season, top 3 assists, Cow and Drift that has what? Top 3 assists.
Top five goals last season.
And top 3 assists. Cow and Drift have
top 3 assists for Cow.
Have theirs on the call-in.
Okay.
Top 5 goals from last season. All right, off the top of my head, definitely
smash the like button while Matt's thinking, guys. We're only on 555 likes. We got 1,300. We got 1,100 of you in here at the moment, and we've peaked this show at 1,400.
All right, I've got 4 already.
Please make sure you smash the like button.
I got 4 already. Both of Salah's wonder goals. The goal against Man City, and then the week after against the other team. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Watford, I think it was.
Yeah. Thiago's grass cutter in the Champions League, where the ball doesn't touch the ground, where it just skims. Remember the one? Yeah. I'm also gonna go for you man ready for this? Naby Keita's goal against Atletico.
Yeah, we all knew you was gonna pick a Naby one.
And the last one would be might be Mane's against City on the volley.
The FA Cup game.
Yeah, that goal was naughty on the volley. I think those would be my 5. So I'll recap. So in no order, the volley for Mane, Thiago's grass cutter in the Champions League, Naby's volley in the Champions League against Atletico, and both of Salah's ridiculous solo goals against Watford and Man City. Those would be mine. Oh, Divock Scorpion, Curtis Brentford. Oh, Trent, you got you man. Stop it. Just stop. Listen.
What about assists? What's your top 3 assists, bro?
Henderson for Salah against Man United outside the boot.
Captain. Thiago to Mane semi-final.
That's probably
Mane to Salah versus Man United.
There's so many, bro. Trent, Mane assist versus United. Ooh, Salah outside the boot. There's a
That Mane
few.
assist to Salah was disgusting. Origi's assist to Salah against Milan.
But there's too many, you know. I don't. Basically, there's too many. You know what it is? Because
Salah's assist for Mane against, was it Norwich? Was it Norwich? Who was we playing where Salah did that dirty outside of the boot pass?
Yeah. To
Burnley?
Mane.
Who were we playing? I can't remember who was playing.
Who was it? This is where I need Cal's memory, bro. I can't remember, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many people, but and again, like, bro, just think about how we ended that season.
Trent's assist to Mane in was it Atletico? I think was it Atletico? Remember when he like played it like a first time half volley pass through to Mane?
Yes, I don't know if it's Atletico. That pass with this guy. Yeah, Trent's there. I don't know whether it's Atletico though, but I know when he played it first time, innit?
Yeah. I think it was Mane against Atletico. I think.
This is, you know what it is, yeah. This is all making me remember how good we can be. This is, I'm not gonna lie, fam.
Bro, I just remember how many of these are including Mane, and it makes me want to go and have a cry afterwards, bro. So it is what it is, bro.
Yeah. Well, listen, people, that's probably the best way to end the show, at least. In fact, no, I think we got. No, is that it? No, there's one more. 975 Jam says Newcastle are building. Newcastle are building their team methodically. Dangerous. Yeah, I know they are. Like obviously
they've got the real Bruno. Do you know how much we should have gone for Bruno Guimaraes, bro?
Yeah, Bruno Gomes or Gomes, how you pronounce it. He's a baller, and then obviously they're going to get Isak now, who again might not necessarily be the killer up front, but he's one heck of a player. And he's gonna get better.
Well, Chris Woods came off the bench against Man City.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's very obvious that Isak is a massive upgrade.
No, 100%. No, when you say
Chris
like that,
Woods, bro.
do you know what I'm surprised? Newcastle didn't go for Ismail Assar, or did they try to? Was it them or was it no? Because Aston Villa. Because what I don't understand is why didn't Ismail Assar he goes Newcastle? Because then he can play on the right hand side. You got St. Max on the left, innit? And then Isak through the center, bro. That I just thought that makes sense for Newcastle, but I don't even want them to even do that because they're a problem.
You see what I'm saying about football bias and football recency, where people always forget certain things. Remember, people started to be a bit shady towards St. Max.
That's true. Yeah.
Football, I never pay attention to football bias or football recency when it comes to like the form of a player, because at any moment you can fall out of form. I'm telling you now,
St. Max,
if Liverpool had St. Max, he would be cooking. Like nobody told me nothing. He cooked Man City.
Do you know what? John is though? Bro. As great as he is he better than Diaz? I don't think he is.
No. Overall, I don't think he's better than Diaz. But why not have both?
This is what I was gonna say. See how we say? I know. And the thing is, he mainly plays on the right, so maybe that's on the left. Maybe that's the problem. But let's just say, for example, he was able to play on the right, or maybe he can play on the right. We just don't see it enough, and we got him as like a rotational, just like Salah to rotate with Salah at least, or do you know what I mean?
But he could cover more all options positions because I've seen him play number 10 for Newcastle as well. So he could play centrally and he can play wide. He could be the type of player that could play in any position you need him to play in, bro. It's that simple, bro. He's not one-footed. He can go left and he can go right. You cannot tell me there is actually a plan to stop St. Max. There isn't. He can go left and he can go right, bro.
You gotta foul him.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do,
you
bro.
Gotta foul
you
him,
just
bro.
foul him, bro. That's it. Simple. So. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Sims has got a point. Let me try and see if I can bring it up. Fantasy League. We're supposed to do it on Monday, but then obviously we.
The Fantasy League.
Yeah. Have you got quick access to it, bro, to make it easier? Because I haven't. I'm not logged in on my laptop, so this might take ages for me to log in. If you've got yours, then try and log in quickly. Apologies, people, and thanks for the reminder. Actually, totally forgot about that. Let's see. No, mine was saying forgotten password. I can't remember.
Right, can you not see this?
Oh, you're in, yeah? You're in.
Right, so in first place, Redman Army leading the way. Second place is Carmelo Anthony. In fact, they're joint. Sorry, joint. In fact, it's 3 people joining. Theoretically, 3 people joined in third, and you got Mo Salad Athletic as well. So those 3 are all joined in first place with 216 points, and then theoretically the 4th place is actually in second place. So yeah, 1 in 11 with 214 points. Then Rhythm of Van Dyke in third place. Carvalhalius, that's a good name still. And then you got the top of the clubs as well with 211 points. I'm not gonna lie,
It's looking real tight at the top, but there's only 6 places.
There's 2 man. Hold on. Is this person the same person? I wonder. John Larkin and Joe Roberts. You man have practically got the same man, except for one's got a 2. Man said top of the clubs, and you got top of the clubs too. Little bit suspicious there. Are we not doing? Are we gonna have to speak to UEFA about this?
Yeah. We can't be having this 2 teams are by the same person. That's 2.
Yeah, and then to complete like the top 10 is Golden Boot Jesus. I don't even like that name because it's got Jesus in it. With 210 points. So that is how things are looking right now. That is the top 10. Obviously, as you can see as well, that like I said before, you got 3 people joined in first place. It's looking kind of mad, but it's early days. It's only 3 game weeks in. A lot can change, as we saw with last season when Scoop was leading the way for about 5-6 weeks, and then all of a sudden Scoop got a couple of injuries and he just never recovered. So yeah, that is the FPL as things stand. But yeah, we'll make sure as well, people, on our next Monday night show, which should be on Monday because we're not playing again. Yeah, we'll play again on Saturday. Then I think Wednesday we'll go into the FPL in a bit more detail, maybe even go further down and whatnot. So yeah, big up for everyone that's involved. I think there's over 800 people in the league. Yeah, that's right, 800 people. That's big. Shout out to those who joined. Do you know what I mean?
Shout out to the winner of last year as well.
Indeed.
Actually, do you know, if you're watching right now, bro, I know I should just actually now I'll message him because he should have received his goods ages ago for winning the league. But yeah, big up to last year's winner, and yeah, we move. Look, we're in the mud. It is what it is. We ain't gonna sign anyone. And yeah, we're just gonna get a few people back from injuries, and they'll be like new signings. Matip will be a new signing. Jota will be a new signing. You know what I mean? It's what it is. When we go into the Merseyside derby with like 3 points after 5 games, it's gonna be a mazza, bruv. Strap yourselves in.
I mean, I don't want to feel like that, but I'm not gonna put it past. I'm not gonna put it past us. But listen, man, all I'm gonna say is this, people. It's been a crap time to be a Liverpool fan. Let's bounce back. Let's do something about it. Let's galvanize the squad. Let's see if we can bring a player in. And if we can't, you better get us them 3 points. So we move and let's do this. Before we go, anything you guys want to say before we go?
Just get something sorted, man. That's the Liverpool, not you two, by the way.
Right on cue, bro. Right
Cal's face when he came in there is how I feel. Man just looked frustrated.
just get Milinkovic. Just get Milinkovic, Savic, and then get someone next summer. And don't let Arsenal get Neto, please. Please don't.
I think that would fully break Cal if they got Neto still.
Yeah. Matthias Nunes, Basuma, and Neto going in one window to no, not me, man.
It'll be a problem still. But there you have it, guys. It was a Wednesday. Well, it was a Monday night show on a Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone got their therapy that they needed. I know I needed it. Let's just try and roll on to Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. That's how you know I'm rattled. Let's roll on to Saturday. Let's try and get them 3 points, people.
By the way, guys, Prem Panel show tomorrow.
Is yes.
Make sure you're here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Don't miss it. You know that one's going to be a mad one.
Trust me.
We got George back. We got Aaron back tomorrow. It's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be. I mean,
it's going to be great for everyone. It's going to be great for everyone, but anyone.
These men conveniently available at the great times. I see it.
When Liverpool right there worse. But we move.
I see it.
But we move.
But no. Jokes aside, guys, it'll be a good one, man. So make sure you don't miss it. And then obviously, we'll be back Friday with a call-in show where you guys get your say. So yeah, FSG, pull your finger out. Don't sniff it either.
Oh,
Oh boy. On that note, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. We out. Peace.
Peace.